2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
New year, new ride. Start off the new year with Hessert Chevrolet of Cherry Hill, formerly Mall Chevrolet. Get fantastic finance and lease offers on a wide selection of new models. Whether you're looking to lease or finance, we have great deals to help you drive into the new year in style. Hessert Chevy of Cherry Hill offers one of the largest inventories in the area. For over 40 years, the Hessert family has been a trusted part of this community. Together, let's drive. Visit HessertChevyCH.com.
Hessert Chevrolet!
Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. You can choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, or you can have their master jewelers create a custom one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at FamilyJewelers.com. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra. It's Philly sports put to music at Westchester University in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st and 22nd.
I'm glad I came. Best ever.
The highs, the lows, that band.
The music, the singing, everything. You laughed, you teared up.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Westchester University on Friday, February 21st. And at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, Saturday, February 22nd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
joeconklin.com! Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Hey, welcome in. It is Dom time. Sorry to report the death of Bob Uecker at the age of 90. If I had a little more time, maybe tomorrow, in his honor, maybe we'll do great sports scenes / films. We have a great side question today. We have Dawn Fantasia coming on a little bit later. She's as Jersey as it gets. We'll be asking her, what are these Jersey values that Phil Murphy's always talking about? But I want to lead with Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen was on with Colbert last night, of all places. And Janet Yellen is just the perfect example of the Biden administration. She at least says things honestly. And what the whole deal was here, you know what it was. You know what Americans are saying to this clown. And it's a good time to review the Biden years, since he was right next door here in Delaware. He's always been in a section of blowhards, the biggest blowhards. He easily could have been from Mississippi, Senator Foghorn Leghorn. This guy, the backslapper, the stupidity, and yet accidentally he rose to be president just by toughing it out and always going for it. And last night, mumbling his way into oblivion. But what Biden did, we've talked about it. We were coming out of COVID. Things were going to be okay. The excess spending was unbelievable. So this is cut 12. Here is Janet Yellen. I believe it's Colbert. And still, they're sticking to this nonsense after they have diminished, after they have attacked the average American. That's the number one reason why they got voted out of office, and in Trump magic and things of that nature. But the bitterness of this just mean buffoon that somehow or another rose to be president. It's summarized by Janet Yellen. Here's what she said.
Why do you think this past election made it clear that 49.9% of American voters don't agree with you or don't agree with The Economist, and that the economy was, according to polling, one of the biggest reasons why people put Donald Trump back into office? Why do you think that message about the good economy, as you say, the best economy in the world right now, especially if the advanced nations came out of COVID in the best shape, regardless of our inflation, could you have been a better cheerleader for the economy?
Well, tried to explain why we were doing the best we could. We did see a huge increase in prices, something like 20%
20.8, lady.
Price level over about 3 years. Now, every advanced country saw exactly the same thing.
They did not. Stop it.
Russia invaded Ukraine, energy prices rose, food price increases were associated with that. And this was a shock to Americans, and it came on top of a long period in which people have been really struggling with high housing costs, high healthcare costs, energy price bills, childcare, making so many people feel it's tough to lead a middle-class life. Now, when I look at the data, what it tells me is that wages also increased. And according to our calculations, the typical wage earner is able to afford now the same basket of goods and services as back before the pandemic, with $1,600 left over to save or spend. So the typical worker.
Good, that's it. Applaud, you morons. Now, I hate to start out the show, but nothing has enraged me as much over these years. The unnecessary spending, the stupid historians with Biden, egging him on. We've talked about this right in the beginning. That's a fact. Diminishing people, making people listening right now have to make all these decisions that are outside a middle-class lifestyle. And then she has the nerve to tell them, they clap, they applaud. Now, part of me says, as I always say to people, let them, we're going to kill them every time then. Let them continue this fiction. Who believes any of this? That we're better off long-term and everything's okay now. And, these were hard to explain. You're dumb. Macroeconomics. She's a genius. Hard to explain, despite inflation. Hey, Colbert, that's the whole thing. What are you being overpaid at? 8, 10, 12 million a year? Try telling that to people who essentially had their middle-class status diminished across the board. Nobody wants that. We don't want that for Americans. They didn't care about that. Either that or they actually believe you can spend all that money and you don't create exactly what they did. That's the message of these years. Now, some of this election, how bad Harris is, the Trump magic, some of the other issues that had some of the cultural issues that had people riled up, how clever the Trump campaign people were this time around, how buttoned up. But it did come back to the wedge issue, which is real. Inflation and what it does to people. And they still can't admit that that's what it is. They still want to lie, con themselves, because they're living in a bubble. If you're making, say, over 200, 250, 300, something like that, I mean, I'm just stunned by prices. I had to get a battery this morning, Pep Boys, they're going to put in, they did a good job, $249. Jeez. I don't remember a battery costing thank you, Joe, very much, you clown. And Janet Yellen.
Don't you drive like an American-made car? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So it's not, you're not driving a German import that it's hard to get a battery for. No.
We had a boiler put in last week. It was $13,000 after negotiating. Well, maybe a little bit less. Negotiating.
This is ridiculous.
Yes. Where does that come from? It comes from what they've done. There's no getting around that. No matter how many, they couldn't. Could you have cheerleaded more? There's nothing to cheerlead about. It was wrong. It was unnecessary. You helped people that were lazy sitting on the couch for years with all those stimulus payments. You came up with all these cockamamie electric vehicle things where there's no charging stations. And they still egged you on. Go big, Joe. You're going to be FDR. That didn't work, by the way, FDR. We know that. But at least it was in the middle of the Great Depression. Joe, you're going to be LBJ. How did that go? Well, that established the rundown of our society, what LBJ did. He's the architect of this. He doesn't get enough credit for how bad he was. And Biden was just a knockoff of this. But look at what he did. And he had the nerve to lecture about people paying their fair share in taxes. Hunter Biden sitting right there. This family are a bunch of grabbers, just grabbing at anything. Check the silverware. Check any laptops or anything lying around. They'll take the floorboards up as they leave the White House. Just ridiculous. All right, 855-839-1210. Now, Mike Waltz, I like a lot. I wish Steve Ducey, the Deuce, had locked this down a little bit more. I thought we agreed. Now, President Trump on this is giving signs. We'll see exactly what he does. And I guess it's a little bit more nuanced, but I thought we had agreed that TikTok, unless it goes to an American company, which is fine, but the Chinese Communist Party is bad for America. There's a spying element. There's an element of running down our society. How many have even died with some of the stunts and some of the stuff that's involved with this? But apparently Trump did very well on TikTok. I get it. To win the presidency, all right, you did it. Okay. And is a bit enamored with it. I don't care. This is like the HB1 visa. Now, come Sunday, this could go dark. Walt's saying no. And he's saying a lot of stuff. You're going to have to help me declutter here. I like Waltz a lot. He's as good as it gets as far as the people around Trump. He's an American hero. But is he right on TikTok? Here's what he said to Ducey this morning.
Speaking of Donald Trump, yesterday it became clear in the Washington Post that it sounds like Donald Trump is trying to throw TikTok some sort of a lifeline. Could have an executive order to save the platform. I know a lot of people don't like it, national security concerns, but there are 170 million Americans who use it. So what's going to happen to it?
Well, President Trump, and this is in line with the legislation, we will put measures in place to keep TikTok from going dark. In the legislation allows for an extension as long as a viable deal is on the table. And then, essentially that buys President Trump time to keep TikTok going. It's been a great platform for him and his campaign to get his America First message out. But at the same time, he wants to protect their data. Conservatives don't want the FBI, and they certainly don't want the Chinese communists getting their passwords, getting their data, and being able to overly influence the American people.
All right, then. So, not exactly skillful by Ducey. I've had to go over this for 3 to 5 minutes at least. Where does that leave us? Even the guy, the Josh Barton guy, the guy that puts out odds on everything, listen to his odds. Will the Supreme Court ban of TikTok be upheld before January 20th? Sunday, the 19th is the date. 69% probability, they say. Yes, if you bet, negative 225. No, plus 155. Will Elon Musk buy TikTok or a stake in TikTok in 2025? Yes, plus 275. No, minus 450. The odds imply an 82% probability Musk will not buy. Will Trump overturn TikTok ban in the first 100 days of presidency? They imply a 58% probability he will not overturn it. But what Walt said there is a little bit difficult for me to parse out what they're going to do with it. Shouldn't this be an obvious thing? An American company has to take over. We get rid of the influence of the Chinese Communist Party. We've said this a million times. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. Happened to see yesterday, great website here locally on sports, Crossing Broad. DJ monitors it and sent me an article they wrote about one-hit wonders, not musical. If you have a musical one, we might consider it, but we'd rather broaden it out. And I'll give you an example. Give us a one-hit wonder, somebody who was in the news, somebody that did something and then just completely faded away. I'm going to put in there Harper Lee. Harper Lee, of course, is the author of To Kill a Mockingbird, often voted as the best-loved book when PBS does this by Americans, and I can understand that. The film is just as good, if not better. She never really surfaced after that until she kind of wrote a sequel to what? To Kill a Mockingbird. So I can hardly say she had something that big. You write something that big, you would think there would be other relatively big things a talent like that would write. No way. That's kind of a one-hit wonder to me. Henry, do you have one? No?
Sorry. What?
Yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah, I got one for you.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So we're doing the one-hit wonders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I got tied up here because we got an email. We're confirmed for Jeff Van Drew today at 1:30.
Okay, perfect.
Ty Warner, Dom, you know who that is? You know that? Recognize that name?
Ty Warner.
Ty Warner. Creator of toys, a toy creator. launched TY, the brand that gave us Beanie Babies. Ty Warner, one-hit wonder, creating Beanie Babies, right?
Yep.
He still has the company, still had those big eyes. You see him out there at the mall with the TY logos, but nothing to the level of, Beanie Babies. So I'm going to submit Beanie Babies, Ty Warner as a one-hit wonder there. But just a little factoid about Ty Warner. After getting rid of the whole Beanie Baby enterprise, the franchise, went into real estate and is now the owner of the Four Seasons New York. So Ty Warner used his Beanie Baby money to get into the world of real estate and is now $2.3 billion net worth.
So you still say a one-hit wonder?
One-hit wonder in the world of public. In the public eye, he is a one-hit wonder because of Beanie Babies. Dom.
Okay.
Really fell off the map. And one more, let's say one snip wonder. How about that? Lorena Bobbitt. Yeah.
You like that one yesterday out of the box. By the way, a one-hit wonder, the Macarena, Los Del Rio. They've never been heard of again. I don't even know if they're still a band, but you got to say, as a hit and as an annoyance, it's amazing. Any song that's constantly played at weddings, when they run out of stuff, those people should never be allowed to have another hit. All right, Henry, how about yours?
Yeah. So I'm going to take a pair of former teammates off the board right quick. I'm going to take off the 2014 Rookie of the Year in the NBA, Michael Carter-Williams. He peaked in that first season. Arguably, you could say he peaked in his first game where he almost came down with a quadruple double.
Arguably, you could say he might be one of the worst draft picks, and the reason you don't pick guys who can't shoot, even though he was picked 11th in the world. Might be helpful if you can shoot.
That draft class, that 2013 draft class, is one of the worst of all time.
Oh, he's one of the worst.
Oh,
yes.
I disagree. I disagree. I think that class as a whole, there's not a whole lot to pick from. And then I'll pick his teammate, too, KJ McDaniels. The half season he had with the Sixers, his rookie year, he averaged 9 points per game, which on paper you're like, what does that have to do?
Right.
Go look up his highlights. Dude was throwing down thunderous dunks 10 years ago. He was awesome. And then I'm going to take a movie character off, or I guess an actor at this point. Hayden Christensen. Remember the name?
No.
Hayden Christensen played Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequel movies, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. He, for being probably one of the biggest roles on the planet at the time, he didn't really amount to much success after that. Like, he was in the movie Jumper with Samuel L. Jackson, which is okay, but then, he's not in anything else. Like, he's in, some rom-com with Emma Roberts. He's in a bunch of who cares movies. So that guy, his one role was Anakin. That was his one-hit wonder, and now he's pretty much out of the public eye.
All right, that's what we're looking for. One-hit wonders.
Did you say Harper Lee was a one-hit wonder?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when you look at going from To Kill a Mockingbird, the only other thing I've ever seen is the sequel to what? To Kill a Mockingbird.
Well, no, I mean, she did so much with Truman Capote that I feel it was she's essentially a co-author on In Cold Blood and a lot of his stuff.
I'm not. Well, I stick by it. I mean, on her own, I'm kind of surprised when you write something that big, arguably the biggest for Americans. We don't see you in anything else. When I Googled it, too, people agreed. Reddit, a couple of other sources agreed. That's, pretty amazing. I don't know if she gave up writing for a while or what it was.
Well, I think Capote was actually a little salty about the success of To Kill a Mockingbird, and it drove him apart for a little while. And a lot of the movies focus on the relationship between Harper Lee and him. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay. All right, so one-hit wonders. Hit us with that. Try to think outside of music because it's very hard to track all these songs, etc. Think of somebody that really was in the news. Lorena Bobbitt is an example. Then you never heard of them again. I don't know what she would have done after that.
The root of our question yesterday, I think, fits Sully Sullenberger.
Yes.
One-hit wonder?
Yes, he is. Yeah, you think he would have gone on to be this, something would have happened around him that would have been really big.
Well, you're only going to hit the Hudson River once.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
you'll get another opportunity.
Given that legend, you think there would be an opportunity with Flight that would have still kept him in the news, as far as I know. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. You can get in with that. TikTok. Is it now because President Trump is all over the place on TikTok? We're supposed to stand down? Is that the marching order? I don't agree. This is like the HP1 visa. I don't think they're right on this. So what that he did well on TikTok? It's not about that. Is TikTok, unless it goes to an American company, and if he puts an executive order to save that, I'll tell you in advance, I'm not on board with it. We're doing a show Monday at the NAC. I don't know that it'll come down before 3 o'clock, but if I see that, I'm going to tell you right there, no, I'm not on board with it. I mean, we got to hold everybody, including Trump, to what we were told is their agenda. And the H-1Bs thing over the holidays, that's not my agenda. That's not America first. TikTok, American company, okay. TikTok in its current iteration somehow or another, just to keep it going, that's not America first. 855-839-1210. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me why. Is it you believe Trump knows something that I don't know on this? Come on. You're not going to go with that, right? No, I think he's enamored. He got on TikTok. It was lights out. Tremendous traction for him. All right, the election's over. I'll give you a pass on the election. Now, it's over. So how do we continue this argument? The argument's already been there. 855-839-1210.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The working families of La Una Labor's District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor's District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes to storage solutions. And we get the job done fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without the hassle. So trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades, Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com and let's cook up something extraordinary.
Free speech lives here with Rich Zioli weekday afternoons 3 till 7 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
All right, good Thursday, everyone. Jeff Van Drew will be with us at 1:30 today. He's, along with other people, just coming off the floor where 145 Democrats voted against a bill that would deport people who have committed, people here illegally who have committed sex crimes. I was looking during the break. I haven't seen the breakdown yet, but I'm betting that all three of the Goldilocks twins across the suburbs probably voted to say, no, we're not going to deport people who commit sex crimes that are here illegally. It's hard to believe. Guy Shiraki was on the show last week. He talked about the people in the suburbs. These three women have the right demeanor. They're always so caring. They're always so moderate sounding. So they give them a pass when they vote not to protect people in the suburbs. Think about that. Who in the world would vote against this? Well, they say this will open up the door to massive deportation. People who have legitimately convicted of sex crimes, not to deport them. We'll see if we can find those three, Dean, Mary Gay Scanlon, and the Houlihan. Usually they vote when you have that number of Democrats. Usually they vote with those Democrats. This was bipartisan. A number of Democrats did vote to deport, along with, I think, 213 Republicans. So 855-839-1210. TikTok. Remember how big of a deal TikTok was? For a lot of reasons. Kids, and then the other, privacy, Chinese Communist Party. Now, I played you Mike Waltz. It sounded like a bit of a word salad. I was surprised on Fox and Friends this morning. Have we given up on TikTok because President Trump seems to be inching toward blocking it, a potential ban in the U.S., which would go into effect on Sunday?
So upset about this.
Why?
Because we got to get it. I'm having an argument behind the scenes here with Henry about this as we speak, because Henry's a pro TikTok kind of guy, being on TikTok, a younger guy.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to him, yes, there is indeed the privacy problems with TikTok, right?
Right.
You have a foreign adversary here who has access now into the devices in our hands at all times. You look into their privacy policies, it is a lot more access than they should be given. But on top of that, you have ideological subversion. And I always bring up that term on this show. But what that is the effort. It was used by the Soviets to try to divide culture here in America. And ideological subversion, what it is a foreign adversary working their way, snaking their way into a culture somehow with the effort to divide an entire generation so they can no longer agree on anything. And I look at the algorithm that TikTok puts out there. I see a foreign adversary looking to divide an entire... What's the stuff that you see at the top of TikTok that comes out of TikTok?
I'll give you the number one answer.
But IRL, it's transgenderism a lot of times, which is divisive. The issue itself is divisive.
Yeah, well, it's Gaza. They
Gaza.
convince people that Israelis just mowing down people in Gaza.
Another one that's big on TikTok, and Henry can agree with this, the quote IRL GTA, which is idiots trying to pretend like they're playing Grand Theft Auto, which led to the death of a Temple police officer. It's, there is an effort by a foreign adversary here that's looking to slowly divide an entire culture, and it's working. And Henry's response, you can offer.
Yeah, but Henry, let me ask you, how about Red Note? Do you know 300 million people are on that?
Yeah.
And where it comes from? Mao's little red book.
I've seen people making videos about their experiences on Red Note. I don't think we have to worry about people really. I know people are hopping on it because that's kind of the trend. I think that'll die pretty quickly. I mean, I'm for keeping TikTok the way it is. I understand the privacy concerns, but my feed isn't filled with this transgender, Hamas stuff. You really have to be into that stuff to have it on your timeline.
Well, it's like the difference between Reddit, though. If you sort by popular, you can subscribe to subreddits, right? And you get fed a specific feed that's fed to you, right? I would assume on TikTok, what happens is you subscribe to other TikTokers, and that's what you start seeing in your feed. Is it replicates the algorithm, will take what you're interested in, and then it'll feed it to you. Yeah. But when you first sign up for TikTok, what you're seeing is that kind of divisive stuff, and you have to navigate through that.
Well, why do you think the Chinese are so gung-ho on this? Well, what do they want to do? He's exactly right. In China, their TikTok is showing kids studying 18 hours a day.
And our TikTok does that too. You just have to scroll over to that widget. It's literally just a feature on the app.
Okay, well, it doesn't...
If kids don't want to scroll on that side of it, then they won't.
All right, well, then that's kind of an issue here. And the gathering of information, that's apparent.
I don't like the gathering of information.
I mean, that's an easy insight. You don't have to follow that much to know we can't have that. All right, so
I do have that video you're referencing from Moon on YouTube. It's the one I often go to with Douyin and the differences between what's shown to American TikTok versus Chinese Douyin.
Yeah, in a second, remember that the Chinese are using it to uplift their youth, or at least keep them in control, however you look at it. And they're the stunts, Henry, too. That's the other thing that are just...
And an argument that we had back here that I'd like to explore. Well, stunts being the IRL GTA stuff, I would
Yeah.
assume. But like we were exploring back here, Henry's response was, well, you see this crap on Twitter, too. You see it on Instagram, right? So
Right.
should we ban Twitter and Instagram?
I don't think they're as apparent as this.
Well, it is.
I think
it is. It is.
absolutely
But I think it's open competition right now. It's what you see is let's pretend, let's go back in time to before TikTok, when it was Instagram and Twitter ruling the roast. This stuff really exploded alongside the explosion of TikTok as an app. And if you're an American company where capitalism is king, you want to be able to compete with that exploding TikTok app. So you might adjust your algorithm to follow that of a foreign adversary being the Chinese government to try to, and you're essentially playing part. So my whole theory is if you get the foreign adversary out of this, what should be a private entity, then maybe these other private industries will actually upright their role in culture as a social media company.
I think that's sound. Yeah, I think TikTok is still the worst. I concede the other stuff. All right, but here's what I'm interested in. Give me a call and tell me how in the world are people standing down? You heard Mike Waltz. This is the deeper thing. This is like the HB1 visa. There's a lot that's going to happen with President Trump come Monday. That's tremendous. There are things, though, that I don't support. Are you saying, well, I don't care. I'm going to support anything that comes out of here? TikTok is one. The HB1 visa thing we talked about for 2 weeks over the holidays is another perfect example. Now, Rich, you got to draw a line with anybody. And I think Trump's a bit enamored that he did unbelievably well with younger people, and he reached them through TikTok. Good. Okay. We'll put up with it to get past the election. We're past the election now. Now's the time to give that up. This is too dangerous. It's an obvious thing. That's why America got to this point where on Sunday something might be done. Here's how you get in. 855-839-1210. I'm betting there are people listening who are saying, no, if Trump says it, well, then I'm okay with that. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal was that's how we got to Dan's point where we are. People notice this. Gordon Chang, people like that have studied this ad nauseum, what the Chinese are up to. They may not do it tomorrow. They may not do it next week. But long term, they're trying to subvert and they're better at it. The Russians were horrible. I made this point before. The Russians in 2016 said we're going to have miners for Trump, and they misspelled miners, rally at the Marconi Plaza statue. Remember that? They didn't know what they were doing. They were on Facebook. They spent $30,000 apparently. The Chinese do know what they're doing. They're a lot better at it. They're a lot more efficient. Confucius Centers on campus. And TikTok is probably their biggest right in front of us. So are we going to dismiss it because maybe President Trump thinks it's good for him to reach young people? Yeah, we should dismiss it. It's got to go to an American company. How many months have we been through this? All right, phone lines. Then I'm going to get your answer to the side question. Give us a one-hit wonder. 855-839-1210. I think about, people who really struck something, and then we did. Let me take Kate here. Maybe Kate get us started thinking on this. Kate's in Cherry Hill. Hey, Kate, before you give us your side, you think TikTok ought to go to an American company or be banned?
No, go to an American company.
Yeah, but I mean, why is it we see the Trump administration now having second thoughts on this? Nothing's really changed.
I don't know. I hadn't thought that.
Okay.
I hadn't thought of that.
Give me your side question, Kate.
Margaret Mitchell. She wrote Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, and after that, did Margaret Mitchell, after Gone with the Wind, you would think that is the pinnacle. I'll have to look at that one, because I've never heard of Margaret Mitchell and anything else major like that. Yeah, thanks, Kate. The danger is if you do something, you know who are one-hit wonders? People who hit something like Shirley Temple, arguably, at the height of Shirley Temple, and then she was some kind of ambassador later in life, and that was about it. It's pretty hard if you hit the top, say when you're in your early 20s, to keep that going often. All right, phone lines, 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All I need you to do is push pound 1210. You can get on board. Hey, are you looking to achieve your health goals and start the new year right? Now's the time to optimize and support your heart health, cholesterol, digestive health, energy levels, and more with Rescue Natural Supplements with their New Year's savings. Rescue is celebrating, and you can save 35% on single bottles of Rescue supplements. Use the code HEALTH35. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Oracine for more energy. Whatever your health goals, Rescue has you covered. To place an order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Start your journey to better health today. Use that code HEALTH35. Again, save 35% on all single supplements using that code HEALTH35. Don't wait. Make this year your best yet with Rescue.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
All right, it is Dom Giordano's show, 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless just push pound 1210. All right, this looks like a good call here from Mike in Lehigh Valley. Mike, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Dom. I love your show. I always have. I've always considered you only to be second to the late, great Rush.
Well, thank you, Mike. Very nice of you. Thank you.
I just wanted to say I couldn't disagree with you more on this. There's being consistent, and then there's cherry picking. And in regards to censorship, you have to be, and we have to be consistent. You know, Howard Stern. I grew up as a kid. I heard all kinds of people wanting to censor him as a '90s kid and an '80s kid. And it's completely wrong. In regards to this TikTok or TikTok, whatever, I've never used it. We cannot censor things. And there's a huge difference between being consistent and cherry picking. And that blurs the lines.
Okay, well, let me explain, Mike. Okay, I hear you. All right, all we're doing is not getting rid of this, but, the Constitution is not a suicide pact. And by that, Mike, I mean this is a blatant attempt by a foreign power to beat us down. That would be China. And then you have the stealing of data, identities, the whole thing with it. But, Mike, we're not saying it has to go away. We're saying it can't be used by the Communist Chinese Party. And again, I think we as a country have to say they're not an enemy or a competitor. I mean, an adversary. They are the enemy. This is a war footing that we're on here. I know it's not a declared war, And Mike, I think you should look at how toxic this whole thing is.
I feel you, brother, but once we start putting that invisible hand of government in companies, I mean, it starts going into socialism. That's all I'm saying. That's all. And
I hear you, Mike, with that, but I know the slippery slope argument, but you don't buy my argument with some knowledge base on this. That this
one thing libertarians are consistent. That's all.
Look, and I think with a small L, a lot of our listeners, myself included, have a lot of libertarian instincts. I don't think this is like censoring Howard Stern, though. Tell me what we would lose. You really believe if we push them to an American company, that's going to open the floodgates to do what?
We cease to become capitalistic and choice. And we force companies that's just not capitalistic, let alone American.
Okay, so Mike, I would ask you, should we intervene?
Become authoritative.
And I have some concerns about identity, privacy rights, but should we intervene with age restrictions on kids getting into some things that may be okay with adults, but kids under 18? Should we intervene with the companies and make them try to screen out kids?
I believe in commonsensical laws like that when it comes to tobacco, absolutely, and social media.
All right, good. Well, I would tell you, I think this is commonsensical, moving this to an American company. I think it's more along those lines than you do. That may be where we differ.
All right, fair enough.
Thank you, Mike. It was a great call, though. Do you have a one-hit wonder?
One-hit wonder. That's tough. I don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, Mike. Have a nice weekend if we don't speak. Thank you, Mike, very much. All right, I've heard that argument. And it seems to me, Dan, I don't know about you, but you know what the flaw, and not that Mike was doing. There's some people who fall back to that argument. That way they don't have to take a stand on anything. It's kind of reminiscent of this argument we're hearing with parents who want to have their kid. They say, well, the parent wants the kid to have gender-affirming care, operations, whatever, they're 10 or 12. And what do we counter? Well, we don't let parents get their kids drunk. I mean, there's a societal interest in setting some line. That's all that's happening here. And the brightest line is it's a communist Chinese party. This is not, something where we're cherry picking. What do you say, Dan? The libertarian argument here.
No, I get 100% where they're coming from.
Right.
And that's why my argument always ends with TikTok. I'm not saying let's ban these other companies. My hope is that if we ban TikTok, who's involved with a foreign adversary, an enemy to our country, that these private companies would indeed follow. So no, it's not a slippery slope. It's hey, I'm going to put a rock in the middle of the slope so we end right there, maybe slide down a little bit, but we're not going to go all the way down. No, it's not. It's shocking to me that we as a culture are so when we talk about social media, which is new to us as a general culture, right? We need to set guidelines to how we can both exist happily and with social media. And I think one of the big steps in doing that is not allowing a foreign adversary or our enemies to control what is seen and what we see on social media. I think that's a really obvious thing. And I understand, I'm a libertarian myself. I identify as a libertarian a lot of times. But when you end the argument for an adversary, I think that's it. That's where it ends. And again, we're talking something new. Something new. And like alcohol, there are limits set on that. And I look to parents today, and I see my sister struggling with this, and I see other parents. There is so much out there that government can help parents with by offering some kind of guidelines that they refuse to in the guise of slippery slope and not getting involved. And I see what RFK is doing with the red dyes, and I see the pushback against that. I see the pushback against, trying to get TikTok under control. I think these are all important to finding us a healthier society, and I think we're being way too quick to try to argue, no, that's against freedom, because these past 5 years, our freedoms have been really taken away from us. But I do think there is a line we can walk where there are these bans, or there are certain regulations that are put on there to make a healthier society in a new kind of culture that we've never seen before, that being the internet age.
The bottom line is it wouldn't go away. It would be an American company. It's the Chinese part of it, the Communist Chinese Party.
100% there.
That's different. That's new. And there are, the Libertarian Party goes off the rails. I mean, I've had them on way back at WWDB. and they would say there should be no speed limits. Like right there with people. Come on. You know, there are certain guidelines that we need. Their argument is, oh, yeah, you guys say that all the time, then you end up doing more. I don't think we are here. It's still going to be a company.
And when it comes to social media or cell phones, and we're talking about cell phones in classrooms with Phil Murphy and wanting to ban them, and I was in support of that as well, because I look to parents today, and there is such a situation where the norm is a child must need a cell phone if they want to have any chance of popularity in school and not being set as a social outcast. And how do we as parents fix a situation? Like, you can't just not give your kid a phone because then they become that social outcast.
Yeah, I'm still slightly on the other side on that one. So I'm not trying to.
I'm going a lot of different directions.
No, I know what I get the point.
It's all under the same thing where parents, I understand we can blame parents all we want, but this is a changing society and we need to embrace the fact that there are changes happening and parents need help. They do need help.
It's 855-839-1210. Great call from Mike, though. Are you in that camp? Or is that sometimes, I'm saying his call was, sometimes it's convenient for pundits and others to make themselves no restriction. Everybody thinks that's perfect. That's what our society's about. And then to say that I'm not going to let the Communist Chinese Party get away with that, suddenly I am defeating the purpose of America, capitalism. I don't think so. 855-839-1210.
As a conservative, don't bitch to me about this rise in transgenderism and our culture being torn apart at the seams, and at the same time protecting what's doing the tearing apart at the seams.
Yes.
You know, you can't be hypocritical on this issue. And as a conservative, libertarian conservative, now I'm identifying myself as a lot of things. I got asked, what else do I identify as? I just, I'm really, really strict on this issue. I apologize, but that's where I stand.
Well, Mike was a great call, though. I was all set for the fastball. He wasn't off-putting. He was honest disagreement. There are people that they cloak themselves in this, and then they can say no restriction is ever going to be. That's not true. That's not what America's about. It does take a lot, though, to get to this point. But how about Trump? Why is President Trump suddenly moving that way? Is it he wants to reach young people? He's popular on TikTok. All right, 855-839-1210.
Exactly what it is, I hate to say.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It's transparent to me.
And putting Mike Waltz.
I find benefit in this, so I'm going to keep it allowed. It doesn't matter what it's doing to society anymore, but if it benefits me, I'm going to keep it out there.
And Mike Waltz is an American hero. I hate to hear him doing the word salad he did with Ducey today. He doesn't know what to say. He said a lot of gibberish. Are we going to restrict this to an American company, yes or no? 855-839-1210.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his cabinet will not approve a ceasefire deal until Hamas drops new demands. A new report finds the rate of deaths from cancer has fallen 34% over the last 30 years. And a dozen dogs from our area will participate in this year's Puppy Bowl, including a rescue named Saquon Barkey.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com. Cipriotti.com. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
When you're still looking for love, Valentine's Day sucks. Every restaurant is fully booked. Suddenly, all chocolates are heart-shaped, and all the PDA. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Is making the point that all the content is not just sexual, graphic, pornographic. It's around age restrictions. And Alito's asking him, so is it kind of like Playboy, where they have big interviews? Jimmy Carter was even interviewed for Playboy. That's one of the most famous interviews ever, where he said he lusted in his heart. This is before he became president, I believe.
Did you miss the interview with Joe Biden on PornHub during his presidential campaign?
No. I didn't know it was on there.
Yeah, they had a whole,
Yeah?
Oh, wait, that was just another video.
No, it was not.
Okay, yeah.
All right, here is, listen to Alito after Gorsuch, I think, quizzing the attorney for PornHub.
Why don't you talk about the most popular porn sites, which I gather you're representing? So one of the parties here is the owner of PornHub, right?
Yes.
And what percentage of the material on that is not obscene as to children?
Well, Your Honor, if we're talking about the youngest minors, I would agree that most of it is, and that is how we read the law.
Is it like the old Playboy magazine? You have essays there by the modern-day equivalent of Gore Vidal.
Yes,
just
Gore Vidal. Like that, yes.
Not in that sense, but in the sense you have sexual wellness posts about women recovering from hysterectomies and how they can enjoy sex. That's on there. Discussions of age verification proposals and where the industry lines up as far as what they think should be legislated and what should not.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We lost the best point there. I thought there was a little bit more.
What's the point?
They kept on going, how much of a percentage then is obscene as far as kids?
Let me get that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Alito may have said 100%, something like that, or 90, and they finally arrived at 70%. But imagine Alito saying, are there articles in there like Gore Vidal duking it out on some major issue here?
What percentage of your clients' materials would be considered obscene for minors?
Your Honors, it's tough to arrive at that calculation.
Well, your friends on the other side say it's all.
I don't think, no, that is not true, Your Honors.
Virtually all?
Disagree. No, Your Honors. If you
okay, then you give me the number. What percentage?
I cannot quantify it because we're dealing with, I would recognize, a very large universe of material. I would note, Your Honor, that among that material is blogs. It is podcasts.
Oh, God. I understand. I'm asking you for percentage.
Your Honor, I cannot quantify that.
More than 50%?
I think that's a fair guess.
More than 70%?
Your Honors, I don't want to go out on a limb. I think that may be correct, but I can't tell you with assurance.
More than 90%?
There, Your Honor, I think we may be stretching upwards.
Okay.
As far as whether it's sexually explicit.
We got 70%, though. Okay. All right. And then do you agree that there is a compelling government interest in keeping obscene materials from minors?
Yes, unequivocally.
Okay. Thank you.
They've arrived at 70% there in the Supreme Court. But the Playboy thing jumped out at me. Oh, my goodness. Gore Vidal, whoever else he said there. Let's go.
Hard-hitting interviews over there on PornHub. Highly suggest our listeners go
yes,
check it out.
We'll have to put that on YouTube, some of those hard-hitting interviews. Let's go to Rob in Nazareth. By the way, I think I have found a salmon shirt. I might have that for Monday.
Did you really?
I'm working on it.
Ooh,
and remember, we'll be at the NAC doing a broadcast noon until 3. You'll definitely want to be out there. And I found this out. I remembered. I just checked it, really. Whether the oath of office happens by or exactly at high noon on Monday, Trump is president at that moment of noon constitutionally. So even if he's not sworn in yet, the swearing in other words, is kind of just a public affirmation. At noon, President Trump will be president again on Monday. Let's go to Rob in Nazareth, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Rob.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
I was commenting on the TikTok question you had. I believe that it should be operated by an American company, American business, or whatever. It's just common sense, man. I mean, I told your scheduler there that, they've already determined that either the FBI, the CIA, the Defense Department, they already determined that China was data mining the American public.
Yes.
So if they're already at that point, what the heck's the big problem with having an American company, American whoever? I mean, if you had the money, you buy it. I mean, it's just common sense. Isn't this the common sense presidency now? It's common sense.
Well, it is. And Rob, I'm glad you called with that because I called Trump out on this and putting Mike Waltz out there to say gibberish on it. Who cares if Trump's doing well with young people on TikTok? It's not about that. It's a threat.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has something to do with just the basics. Just like if you work for NSA is giving them the information that China is not operating as any other company would right now.
Absolutely.
They're even trying to break up Google, or they're trying. I think going back a few seconds here, Elon Musk, when he opened up Twitter, that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you. That's a model. You could point toward that. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. That's how you get incoming and more calls. Hit us with an all-time one-hit wonder. Not a musical song. That's an easy thing. But in some other walk of life, real or fictional. We'd love to hear that. Now, Jeff Andrews here at 1:30. We had another vote today on deporting people here illegally who have committed a sex crime. 145 Democrats voted against the bill. Dan, if you have a chance, see if we can. I'm going all over the place during the breaks. I haven't seen the list yet. I'm willing to bet Madeline Dean and Mary Gay Scanlon may have voted against it again. Houlihan, I'm not sure. Guy Shiraki made a compelling point the other day. All the people in the suburbs that they care about is demeanor. You have to be that you're so worried about the children, and you have to be moderate sounding in your rhetoric. Then you can vote to the far left. This last election, even the suburbs didn't go wholeheartedly for Trump. He did better. But what is wrong with these people in the suburbs that we have these three women representing the Philadelphia area? They all voted against Lake and Riley. And I think at least 2 out of the 3 voted to not deport people that are here illegally committing sex crimes. Do people in the suburbs really want that? Maybe they do. Maybe they think this is fine as long as your demeanor is okay. As long as you're not Trump. Don't raise your voice. All right, 855-839-1210. We'll see what Jeff Andrews says about it at 1:30. All that coming up.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-214-3777. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-214-3777. 800-214-3777. 800-214-3777.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Unlock your savings potential in 2025 with a First Harvest Credit Union Growth Savings Account and earn as high as 3.25% annual percentage yield. Or check out competitive certificate and IRA specials. Earn more with flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com/growth savings or your nearest branch to open your account or to get details. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for 85 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios, powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. We'll be joined by Jeff Van Drew. Now, in September, 158 Democrats, so 13 changed their mind, voted against a Republican bill that said we're going to deport those who have committed sex crimes and are here illegally. Pretty easy, right? At that point, Scanlon and Dean voted against deporting them, as did our old buddy, Dan, Donald Norcross. Donald Norcross over there in Camden County. Now, why do these people get away with it? Well, the media doesn't publicize it. We're looking to see if they maintain that vote. It just came down a little while ago. And do people in the suburbs pay any attention to this? We do know all three, including Houlihan, voted against the Lake and Riley bill. And Houlihan, constitutional scholar, said it wasn't constitutional. Based on what? You're here illegally. You're charged with another crime. We're going to detain you until ICE can deport you. You should not be here illegally. That's the bottom line. And what are these people going to do on Monday when Holman starts charging up the hill? So we had another vote today on another iteration of this bill. Nancy Mace, apparently from South Carolina, is one of the big sponsors of it. Here's what Mace said. The bill passed. Bipartisan, but still, 145 Democrats still voted against it.
Just walked off the House floor where we voted to pass my bill, H.R. 30, Preventing Violence Against Women by Illegal Aliens Act, and the bill passed 274 to 145. So 145 Democrats voted against the bill this time. The bill will head to the Senate next in our country, and that is the message that we sent to American women and girls this morning. Just walked off the House floor.
Okay, well, Maddo and Dean didn't send that message as far as I know, or Mary Gay Scanlon. If they did, we'll see if they change their vote. We're looking for the current vote. They didn't want to do it before, though.
I got a comment from Norcross. I got to read it, though. It's a statement.
Okay,
that he released.
Yes.
No one condones domestic violence or sexual assault. People who commit these heinous crimes have no place in our society, and that's why they are already subject to incarceration and deportation. If H.R. 30 becomes law, it could have a detrimental impact on domestic violence survivors while pretending to protect them. Over 200 national domestic violence prevention organizations oppose this legislation because of the fear that H.R. 30 will result in the deportation of victims who have U.S. legal protected status. I believe that we need to take action to develop comprehensive immigration reform, but not at the expense of those who have U.S. legal protected status. I stand ready to work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to repair our broken immigration system.
You moron is my response, buddy. See me in public again and say, look him in the eye and all. You can't look me in the eye. You're too short. First of all, Dan, that's my protected legal status. But this is the line they resort to, people like Norcross. Well, we want comprehensive reform. I don't want any comprehensive reform. I want one thing. I want them out, and I want no one else to get in, starting with the getting in, the remain in Mexico policy. Step 2, those that are criminals of one sort or another, out, never to be back in. We're not going to be waiting. We're not going to hear lectures. Well, Republicans were for it. It's just Trump that doesn't want this type of reform. And what does that reform mean? It means that somehow or another, Democrats are going to be able to keep more people in this country that are here illegally that shouldn't be. That's what it means. And America First says, no, Americans first. We don't need all this. I don't think we should have legal immigration at this point. And I say that to the President Trumps, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Elon Musk when it comes to bringing in people to undercut American IT workers and the like. The same thing applies. We don't need it. We are smarter than the rest of the world. If you'd show me on a case-by-case some genius or something that's just going to make the difference. 1 second, Dan. I'm coming. Okay, I'll listen to that. Still probably going to reject it, though. This is the United States. We have the people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said I have the names now.
Yes,
if you want to know who voted what. Brendan Boyle voted yes in favor of the bill.
Okay, he's consistent here. He's getting it.
Madeline Dean, nay.
Of course.
Fitzpatrick, yeah, that's obvious.
Right.
Houlihan, wow, she voted in favor, yay.
You know why? The pressure after the Lake and Riley vote. She's on the radar screen now. We've all talked about her. She's feeling it in Chester County. How about Donald Norcross?
Summer Lee voted nay.
Of course.
I'm not a Jersey. You want Jersey?
Yes.
Well, Norcross, we already know he voted nay.
Well, that was in September. I didn't know if he this time.
No,
nay?
those were his comments.
Oh, okay. That's right. From you right today. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's not what's wrong. See, we missed the point. It's not what's wrong with Dean and Scanlon. We know what's wrong with Dean.
Pelosi offered a no vote.
No vote. She's insufferable. Her husband, Philadelphia Inquirer, Joe DeStefano, and others.
Scanlon voted nay.
Nay, of course. Writing about Dean and how they made their money. The Chinese bikes in China, the bikes being made in China, undercutting American labor and all that. That's what they did. So we know about her. Why did these people in the suburbs? Guy Shiraki started to peel it away, the little Dom. And I said, it's a reason they're all women. It's a demeanor. They're with you. We're looking at this, the harsh, the other side's mean. And then they vote against protecting women. And people like Norcross, somebody hands him a piece of paper and he puts it out there saying that, oh, no, we're concerned that we need long-term comprehensive reform. No, we don't. We're not going to go down through all these hoops again. Simple policy this last election. Stop people from coming in illegally. Those that are here illegally, start taking them out. Now, here's the thing. Even Newt Gingrich the other night said it, and I'm aware of this. Once we get past the criminal element, or even when Homan starts just a couple days from now, there are going to be incidents. The media is going to play them up. We're going after illegal criminals here. They'll be with their kids or something like that. It'll be heartbreaking. We'll see it. And they're going to play that up. And they're going to say, this is, have you no shame? Look at, are you not Christian? All that stuff. The American public this time around, first time Trump ran, it was 50-50. It's closer to 60% of people that say, start the deporting. Stop the legal immigration. Stop the HB1 visa thing. Now, to me, that's America first. Oh, Dan, good eye here. I was going to ask you this next. And how about let's start before we get to this one that you have, Mikey, our buddy Mikey in Jersey. Let's get to the Gottheimer guy, the guy who falsified his Spotify, what he listens to list, because he's running for governor and told us he only listens to Springsteen all year long. How did he vote?
In favor.
He voted in favor.
In favor.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now, Gottheimer.
There's a theory developing here.
Yeah. Gottheimer did not show up at the Lake and Riley vote, and he didn't do that because he didn't know what to do. How about Mikey Sherrill? She's the other leading Democrat contender for governor.
In favor.
In favor.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
It seems like those who have anything at stake here
Yes.
coming up in elections know
Exactly.
which way is the correct way on this.
And Houlihan out there in Chester County, which is not quite purple, but it could be. Hey, by the way, Houlihan, did you notice who has it on his bulletin board? It ought to strike the fear of God in you. Who has targeted Chester County now? Scott Presler. I'm doing a national show. I've done it before. It used to be the Jim Bohannon show. It's America Night. Richie Valdez on Monday night. I was hoping they would invite me to the inauguration, Dan, do it from there, but that might be difficult getting in and out. But my first guest that night's going to be Scott Presler. Going national. I just want to see around the country how many people know him, call in, et cetera. I think they do already. So Dan's right. The people that have something at stake, the two running for governor in Jersey, they voted for this. Houlihan voted for it, but Madeline Dean and Mary Gay Scanlon voted against it. Why? Because dopes in the suburbs have given them a blank check to do whatever they want.
And let's remind people that Norcross is on his way out himself, and look, he voted against it, so it seems like there's a theory really developing here.
He's on his way out, Donald Norcross.
Isn't he? Oh, no, that was his brother.
That's a brother. That's a brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Wishful thinking there, Dom. Sorry.
No, this guy's a constitutional scholar. He's a genius. I wish you had been there. He's the guy that wanted to fight at a CBS event for, was it Travis Mann? Oh, for 9/11, commemorating 9/11 in Camden County, Dan. This guy wants to fight there. I'm thinking back to it. Maybe that would have been a good move. I don't know. I don't think the station would like it. But don't say to me, it takes a lot now when you have to look a guy in the eye. Now, buddy, you better get some lifts or something. You're not looking me in the eye. 855-839-1210. Donald Norcross, he's protecting women by voting against this. This is going to be a heck. You know what this is telling us with Sherrill and with Gottheimer running on the Democrat side? It's telling us they're feeling the heat in Jersey. They know that whoever the Republican is that gets through this primary, particularly with Trump backing, with Presler there, with the momentum, I'm convinced, I put it 55-45 that we win the state house. We win the governor's race. So 855-839-1210. You get on board.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Please go like and subscribe. Still a lot of upsetness in the comments from our commenters about no salmon shirt, Dom.
Oh, the lady's on the, I told Rogo, they're on a ranch in Oregon. What the hell? I said, it's the magic of talk radio.
Natasha does write in, though, now that we know Dom will be wearing a satin shirt, we need to get a cigarette for each girl here for after the show.
Is she one of the people on the ranch?
Yes.
Oh, God. I don't know. Jim Worthington probably says no smoking zone, but outside the NAC he goes. So Dan's wearing the suit. Henry will have to get on YouTube if he's back here. We need a special shirt for him or something.
Oh, I'll wear something spiffy, sure, if we're all doing it.
You've been known to wear shorts to the station. You may want to do something like that. There you go.
Short? Right now in this weather?
I feel like Henry definitely has a look that he could fully embrace Texas and pull it off.
Yeah, cowboy hat.
We went with the bolo tie already, but
yeah,
the
right.
embroidered
Tuxedo.
shirt. And yeah.
Canadian tuxedo with a bolo tie?
I think it's going to be a big crowd. How many are going to be wearing a bolo tie? Don't come up and tell me about some constitutional loophole or something. I know it right. When I first started in talk radio, there were a bunch of guys wearing bolo ties. I knew right away. No, don't talk to those guys. I haven't seen it in a while, the bolo tie. Haven't seen the bow tie.
Well, you haven't been to Texas recently.
No, I meant they were here wearing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that'll ever come back as a fashion.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure it will.
Yeah, you know, I thought
Everything
that
comes
about
back.
the mullet too. And
Yeah, let me go to Jaden in Honeybrook. Then we'll take more of your calls, too, on this breaking story. Jeff Andrew at 1:30. Hey, Jaden, thank you very much for the wait. What do you have today?
Oh, sure. Hi, Dom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for all you do. Really appreciate you and really appreciate the show. I just called in with a one-hit wonder idea.
Okay.
Okay, being an Eagles fan, it's kind of sad, but Carson Wentz, I feel like, was a one-hit wonder.
That's a great answer.
Great answer. Now, I thought you were going to say, I was told you were going to say Nick Foles. I'd have to come and hunt you down. That's Saint Nick Foles, Jaden.
he too is a one-hit wonder.
He is a one-hit wonder. Well, no, wait a minute.
He did have that good.
If Alshon Jeffries just catches that ball against New Orleans, they're going back to the Super Bowl. He was going to take him.
I agree. That was an awful, painful moment. I remember watching that game.
Carson Wentz is a good one, though. Thank you, Jaden. Thanks for the nice words, too. I've never been around a guy who's an athlete that was more humble and just approachable.
Who, Carson Wentz?
No, Nick Foles.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that Wentz is, too.
Yeah, I've heard Wentz is, yeah.
Oh, Wentz
Yeah.
is uncoached. That's why he's not a starter. I mean, he's got
Yeah.
the talent. He
Yeah.
just,
But Dom was saying
his
he's a
own
nice
ways.
guy, though.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
an incredibly nice guy.
yeah.
It doesn't mean he's good at
Right.
his job.
No, but Nick Foles with producers, that's what I look at. He's just sitting there entertaining producers. The whole world wanted him. People literally, 2 companies paid, I think it was $45,000 each to get their employees to have like 5 minutes with him and take some pictures. It was unbelievable.
And he spent time with the producers instead?
Well, yeah, he was there, and then he said, "Come on, Dom, let's play some ball."
He knows where the
Oh
true
man,
magic
it was
happens is
it
with
was
those
killing
producers,
me. And then tell me he's got to sign the books. Walter Kosk. Come on, just 5 minutes.
Suze loves Jeffy. My daughter's boyfriend always wears a bolo tie.
Oh,
there you go.
Well, is he in Texas, Suze?
Yeah,
Because
and,
if he's in Pennsylvania, you might have to have a conversation.
that might be a warning sign with this guy. What's up with the bolo tie? You know, the dad would say that. What's up with this
I
guy
know
with
he's
the
very
bolo
pro
tie?
bolo tie. over here.
Yeah.
I could see the middle of the state being more pro bolo tie
Okay.
than around here.
All right.
The Pennsyltuckians would probably.
Okay,
have
You know what? Actually, now I think about it, there's a show called Banshee that was on
Right.
Showtime or something a couple years. And what was it? It was a sheriff that went into an Amish community and would deal with, both the Amish, and there was an Indian casino. And a lot of people in that Amish community wore those, bolo ties, or associated close by to the Amish and the, native communities and such.
I can think of somebody who would wear one. Scott Presler. He had a suit on the other day, and he had some kind of
there's
Texas stuff on there that was.
Is it appropriate to text Scott? Does he own a bolo tie?
Yeah, ask him if he
I
has
don't know.
wears a bolo tie.
Maybe on Monday we ask him.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, but where do I get a good salmon shirt? That's what these women want. I'm trying to comply. I haven't quite found it yet. And I know exactly the suit to wear it with. And Dan's wearing a green suit. This is a fashion revolution on Monday.
Green suits are in,
What are you wearing to celebrate if you're coming to the NAC to celebrate Trump coming back as president? Let us know. 855-839-1210.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-250-7807. 800-250-7807. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-250-7807.
You want to show that special person in your life how much you care? Then start the new year off with the 5 C's from Cozy Jewelers. I'm talking about color, cut, clarity, carat, and of course, the Cozy Touch. Our diamonds showcase vibrant color, precision cut, unparalleled clarity, and a carat that captures hearts. All of that adds up to an unforgettable gift, and that is the Cozy Touch. So for any special occasion, there is only one place to shop, Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square, or online at cozyjewelers.com.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback,
Plumbers protect the health of the nation, and Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumber690.org.
All Dom Giordano listeners, follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
There you go. That is a one-hit wonder. 855-839-1210.
Apparently not. I just found out on YouTube, Dom.
Yeah?
Psy has another song, Gangnam Style, 8.6 billion views. But a song called Gentleman, 1.9 billion views. So apparently a multi-hit wonder in Korea, at least.
Yeah, there's something about various forms of music or just rabbit stuff in Korea that you see numbers that are...
The K-pop
you can't explain.
stuff.
The K-pop stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
numbers
It
are
seems to
nuts.
be pretty derivative. I can't make out anything by it. But the numbers, once they signal on it, can be extraordinary. All right, let's go to the Earl of Tacony on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Earl.
Hello, Dom. Yeah, you know I have a science background, and we are, for all intents and purposes, at war with the Chinese government. I mean, they are engaged in biological warfare against this country. There are any number of invasive species, whether it's insects or plants, that come into this country. Where I live, all of the ash trees have been killed. There's an insect called the emerald ash borer, which is an Asian insect, which came in and killed them all. There are the lantern flies, Asiatic stink bugs.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember a couple years ago, people were getting packets of flower seeds sent to them. And it's like, oh, free flower seeds. And when they went and they looked at it, they found out that there were invasive species in those packets as well, which if people had planted them in their gardens, they would have spread all over the place and would have destroyed the natural plants. Remember the giant flying spiders that came out a couple years ago? I mean, you can't bring an apple back from Mexico, when you travel, but all of these invasive species are coming in, and I think it's the Chinese government that's coming in because they're engaged in biological warfare. You look at COVID. You look at the TV commercials. You have this RSV. And it's like you think it's a new disease. RSV has been around since 1956, but no one ever really paid any attention to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Chinese didn't re-engineer that as well, the way that they did COVID, and release that onto the world in order to, as a biological weapon.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. We got to stop saying adversary. Politicians have to say that. But again, we've settled this in the minds of people. Let's not be daunted by the fact that President Trump seemingly likes this now. I get it. It helped him reach young people. Well, that's over. Unless it's an American company, that's what we're going to go with. Earl, who is your...
the government shuts down private enterprise all the time. I mean, you go and you look at the Pinto. I mean, it was a car.
Mm-hmm.
It was produced. It was tested. And the government said, it's dangerous. You can't, produce this anymore. The government shuts down the dangerous things all the time. Prilosec, that antacid. They determined that it had side effects and they canceled it. The way I look at it, I mean, it's like having a gun. Constitutionally, you're allowed to have a gun. Everybody can have a gun. There's no reason why you can't have one. But if you're reckless with it and you start shooting at people at random, they can take your gun away from you and keep you from having it.
Even
Same
better.
thing with any sort of business.
Even better.
If they're destroying
I would say that RFK Jr. in his mind is a libertarian, but the other day, Red Dye 3, now the FDA has essentially given them the clock is ticking. You can't put it in food or medicine. That's a good thing.
Now, the thing is with RFK, like a lot of people that are in the Trump administration, is they're asking questions. Government is so corrupt that things are passed, people are bribed, and everything is accepted. You don't question anything in government. Trump wants to do this. Well, you can't do that. We've always done it for decades. That's the way it's always done. No, you question it and say, this is stupid, it's dangerous, it's harmful. Let's discuss it, see whether we should continue doing it or not. And that's what RFK is doing. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that RFK wants to do, but I agree with a lot of stuff he does want to do. And I'm happy that he's asking the question. Let's discuss it and see whether we want to keep it using it or not.
Who's your side today, Earl?
My side is one of my favorite authors, and that would be Richard Adams. 1972, he was a government employee in England, civil servant, and he used to tell stories to his daughters when they used to take road trips. They convinced him to go and write all sorts of rabbits and leave bloody rabbit corpses all over the place. They made a London play out of it. They released an album. Netflix did a woke version of it in 2016. Canada did a TV version of it, but he never had any success with any of his subsequent novels. He was well respected. He, did some good work, but never had the critical acclaim that he had with that first novel.
Thank you, Richard Adams. Okay, we'll put that one down. That's what we're looking for, a one-hit wonder. Jeff Van Drew's going to be here. I wanted to talk with him inside President Trump and what Trump did with Israel. Two things the Israeli government, various generals and all are saying, finally broke the logjam on this. One, that Israel defeated, massacred Hezbollah. And two, Trump, the clock ticking. These is exactly the same proposals that have been out there. But Hamas, in their own style, has now done some things, even as the ink was drying on this, that now is making the Israeli government pause here some more before anything gets signed off on. It's a difficult decision. Getting 23 out and 10 bodies is a good thing. But allowing them any space to reconstitute is not a good thing. And we'll see. The devil's in the details with this. But Trump was the force that essentially pushed this over. Netanyahu called and thanked Trump first, and then much later he called Biden. And Biden's speech last night, just incredibly bad. All right, but we have this 145 Democrats we've given you, and Dan's right, 2 of them in Jersey. They have something, they're running statewide. Now, you would think in Jersey, if Donald Norcross is right, couldn't Gottheimer and Sherrill, couldn't they both say, look, I voted against this because this puts the status of these women that are here illegally and were victims of domestic violence. It puts them at risk. Trump, he's going to deport them too. They could say the same thing. Why didn't they? Because they know that Norcross is ridiculous. They know that Norcross is in a safe district. They know that Dean is in a safe district. If you're in Montgomery County, she's just saying, hey, you don't matter to me. I'm going to do as far left as I want to go. How is that? Even Montgomery County, I don't have a sense that it's progressive to that, great numbers, that extreme. And certainly Chester County, Houlihan voted against Lake and Riley, but on this, she voted in favor of deporting these people. Why? Well, since last week, there have been all kinds of people pointing out how radical Houlihan has been voting. That's why she did it. These things are very consistent with each other. So it is having impact. But the 2 main Democrat candidates for governor, they said, yes, deport these people. If Republicans can't win this time in Jersey, it will be shocking. I think they're going to have money. I think they're going to have Trump. I think they're going to have Van Drew. I think the wind is at their back. The secret weapon, Scott Presler, every day is pushing hard in Jersey. If they can't win, then they're just running a bad campaign. And I think, based upon the events I've been at recently, I think I wanted to talk about this. I think Jack Ciattarelli is going to be the nominee. I think he's going to win the primary. I think the other guys really don't have as much of a shot as some people would make you believe. And if he is the nominee, can he do better than he did the last time? Fairly close with Murphy. He's got a much better field this time as far as where Jersey is. Now, we're going to hear people, if it is Ciattarelli, he's going to be saying he's anti-Trump, he's not this, that, and the other. I'm just telling you from what I can gather, he's the guy that most people want in there. Now, we'll see if Trump does anything at all. All right, Jeff Van Drew is coming up. And he's just getting off the floor as they voted on this. Imagine 145. So that means that a number of Democrats, 13 of them, changed their vote on exactly the same law from the last time that it came up. Now it goes to the Senate. Essentially saying, If you're here illegally and you commit a sex crime, you're gone. You're going to be deported. Donald Norcross. I'm protecting women. I want comprehensive reform. Yeah, buddy, you want comprehensive reform. How about standing up for American workers? You're Mr. Union. Are the unions truly, some of them? Are they really for American workers, or do a lot of these guys like Norcross, they compromise in this, staying good with the Democrat Party? Then they show up and tell union members they're for them. Well, you're not for them if you want people here to be undercutting them that are working here illegally. 855-839-1210. Your calls are next.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra. It's Philly sports put to music at Westchester University in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st and 22nd.
Love the orchestra.
Joe's great. He encapsulates a Philly sports fan.
Oh, I love the music. I especially like the old songs from Philly.
The impressions of different voices.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Westchester University on Friday, February 21st, and at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, Saturday, February 22nd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Always a good day to welcome in our friend, Congressman Jeff Van Drew, but particularly with all the things that have built up, some of them even today. Let's go to the Congressman here on Talk Radio 1210. Congressman, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you as always, Dom. How are you?
Well, very well. I can't imagine how you can look at your colleagues, a lot of them local. One of them over in Camden County that I've had run-ins with, Donald Norcross, when 145 of them still voted against protecting American women and children by deporting people who commit sex crimes and are here illegally.
And I'm not going to speak to any one individual, but I don't understand it either. I don't understand what some folks don't understand about, committing a rape or a murder or a beating. I mean, some of these are so horrific, these cases. And I've, on judiciary, I'm on the subcommittee that deals with immigration, and we've had some very detailed and intense conversations over this. And, I've had folks on the other side in the Judiciary Committee argue with me that actually America is safer because of illegals, argue with me that, They feel terrible. It's horrible. And the person who committed and perpetrated the crime should rot in hell. However, they don't think we should make any change, argue with me that it's duplicative, that we already have laws on the books. Look, if it's just duplicative and we already have laws in the books, there's nothing wrong with shoring it up and make sure that they're strong enough and clear enough, number one. So I don't know why you would vote against it. They vote. It's a philosophy, and it really does. And I hate to use the words because they're overused, but America first. We have to take care of our country. A country ceases to exist without borders. Now, that doesn't mean, Dom, and you know it and I know it, that every single person who mistakenly comes to America illegally shouldn't do that. They're still breaking the law. Not all of them are bad, evil people, but some are. And even the people who are decent people are doing it the wrong way. So do we need reform in our immigration laws? Yes. But before we can do anything, we need to make sure that any bad people we have, anybody on the terror watch list, anybody who's committed crimes in the country they came from, anybody that's committed crimes in the country that they are now in, the United States of America, they should not be here. They should go back. And, I'll be honest with you, it costs so much to incarcerate people now. When we incarcerate them, we have the taxpayers paying for them again. So, we pay for them to come over. We pay for their housing. We pay for their food. We pay for their transportation. We give them money. And then on top of that, they do something wrong, and then we've got to incarcerate them sometimes for a lifetime, which costs millions of dollars. I mean, it's enough. There's no reason to do this. And so, it's an illegal activity, even in legislation that I sponsored. It's part of all of this, and it's going to be something that, I think is going to do the country good, where when you do harm to law enforcement, again, you should be detained and deported. There's no question about it. I mean, and I'll shut up after this, but it's so perverse to me that people who are here illegally to begin with and broken the law, then break the law again, sometimes in horrific ways. And there are those that believe you shouldn't do anything to stop that. I don't understand that.
I don't either. And more, we've been talking about here in our side of the river, people in the suburbs, are they aware of some of these people voting this way? Because I don't think they would support it. Wanted to talk about, you're on the subcommittee now, the judiciary. You're on the judiciary, too. You head up the subcommittee. Pam Bondi did really well yesterday, I think, is obviously qualified. Yet, we were hearing a couple of people, I don't know if it's just trying to start something, say that they think she could be in trouble. I can't imagine a Republican voting against Bondi after seeing yesterday.
Well, I'll do what's dangerous here, and if I'm wrong, you and your listeners are going to have to forgive me. I believe all these appointments are going to go through. I think there was one individual that had a problem, and that was Congressman Gates, and he wisely removed himself. Otherwise, I think even Hegseth, I think they're going to go through. And of course, my friend Doug Burgum in Interior, who I'm working with on the wind turbines, he's tested. Today is his day. I think they're qualified. I think they're focused. Look, there's some people that do not like them in the Senate and in Congress because they know they're focused. They know they're the real thing. They know that they're going to be purveyors of change, which is what this is all about. The people voted. Nobody forced them to vote for the change. There's nobody that forced them to create a Republican majority in the Senate and a Republican majority in the House, albeit as thin as all get out, and to, of course, elect President Trump. So it is time for change. It's time for focus. We've got active, focused people that just don't want to go along to get along, that just don't want to be the same.
They finally agreed to it, sort of. We're seeing, a little problem now. And the only difference is Trump's going to be president pretty soon. He sent his guy there to help negotiate it. And I think I would like to see serious consideration President Trump for the Middle East for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, of course he would. Just on what he did in the past with the Abraham Accords. But, we've got, again, the same exclusive group of people who choose how this goes and who gets the Nobel Peace Prize and how it works out. And hopefully he will get it and he will have that opportunity. The Abraham Accords were amazing. What he did for Israel when, they went from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem for the capital, it was a great presidency. And I think many people who weren't even fans of his personality back then, and even now, say, if we could get back to that, to lower prices and an economy that was doing great and not this horrific inflation, and of course peace around the world. And of course the Mideast. So I think I feel good that in our future in the Mideast, it may be a little rocky and bumpy at first. Let me say this for everything. This is not going to be a cakewalk. Dom, you or your listeners shouldn't expect every day to be a good day. In my opinion, you shouldn't expect every day to be easy. When you're trying to make real change and doing things that are substantive and impactful, there are going to be people that are going to fight you tooth and nail. They're going to open the gates of hell against us. But I think at the end of the day, I feel good for the future, as bumpy as it's going to be for a while in those areas. And I think, let's get right down to it. Iran knows, Hamas knows, Hezbollah knows, Lebanon knows. They know that this is a president that is not screwing around, that he's serious, that he wants, freedom and peace over there, and he wants Israel to be left the hell alone. He has a good relationship with the leadership. Netanyahu, obviously, and he get along. They're both straight shooters, and I think they kind of realize, man, we better try to get on the stick here, although it's very hard for them because they're fractioned and they're not good people, they're bad people, so it's hard for them to get in line, but hopefully they have now. If they don't, another prediction I'm going to make, over the course of this 4 years, they're going to be put in line.
Parting question, Congressman Jeff Van Drew with us. What happened? You were good enough to kind of break the news about the wind hiatus and the executive order that was happening, and you were, very buttoned up about it and said it looks good. He might do it the first day or shortly thereafter. Suddenly this week, the rest of the world was interviewing you. It was out there, and you broke this a while ago. What was new, if anything, this week that it caused, wow, that's going to happen?
You know what? There you go. And this is your business, and you know this business better than I do, Dom. The news and reporting, I don't know. You broke the darn story. You had this before anybody did. I said on your show, I was always free about it. I didn't go into the exact details of the executive order because they're being hashed out. And I'll say the same story I said then. I've talked to the president on and off, and I just saw him last weekend about it. And it was funny because when he walked in, and I was sitting right next to him, actually, and, I stood up to shake his hand before he sat down, and then he yells out to, we had about, 15 people there, and he said, "Here's the only guy in the United States of America that hates wind more than I do." So we've known this. We've talked about this on the boardwalk with 107,000 people.
Yes.
He said, "You know what? I'm doing something on this. It's bad." So the deal is that, pretty much everything that you knew, that he asked me about a month ago or so, that doesn't mean they're going to use my executive order exactly. I don't care what they use as long as it works. But he said, I want you to draw up an executive order from your shop, from your people, get it over to Doug Bergman's people and to their landing team, which is what they call a group that is going to get him in to actually be in the position, getting everything ready. We did all that. Their attorneys have been looking at it. What exact changes they're going to make, I don't know. I'm sure they're going to make some. What they're going to do exactly is obviously up to the president. It's his executive order. Our executive order, I'll give you one more detail, the one that we drew, which may not be what he does. He may do something more encompassing, went from Rhode Island down to Virginia. I wanted to make sure to cover that whole area.
Right.
And it's in the ocean. Nobody's going after the ones on land. I'm not sure they're so great either. I'll be honest. I don't know well enough about them. I'm not involved with them, but they're not in the middle of a saltwater ocean. And, again, I'm not going to get concerned myself with that. It is going to be early on. There's a real chance it may be from day one. I've been asked not to announce exactly when, and I'm not going to do that. This is his executive order. This is his day. I'm glad that he just recognized that I'm part of it and allowed me and my team to be part of it. We introduced him to this whole thing years ago and how horrible it was. He learned like I did. In the beginning, we didn't know. And now, of course, we do know. You know what's unfair, and I'll leave you with this as we part. The oil and gas industries have to jump through hoops to be able to go after those energy resources. And they should. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I care about the environment and the water. They should. I've got no problem with that. But this industry, they just usher right in and weren't held to the same standards. And that's what I don't agree with. Again, and it goes back to my judiciary roots, justice for thee, but not for
Right.
me. Oh, we like wind, so they can do whatever they want, even if it hurts the environment, whales, fishing, the ratepayer, et cetera. But, man, oil and gas, we don't like them, so we're going to make them do everything. Everybody should have that high standard, not just your favorites.
Enjoy the inauguration. And again, thank you. Thanks for coming on as much time as you can. We love it. Thanks, Congressman.
I love the good work that you do. I love your listeners. I see, first of all, obviously I'm Pennsylvania, so close to me. I'm in Pennsylvania a good deal of times. And your folks are all down at the shore, especially when it gets to be nicer out. Last thing, people ask me what I don't like about southern New Jersey and the whole region. I say three things, and that includes, Philadelphia and Pennsylvania too. Three things I don't like: January, February, and March. Everything else I love.
You got it. Thank you, Congressman. Thanks very much.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Now.
I might add a couple of other months to that. I mean, they're not Mulligan's months. They own them. Do you see Scott of Mount Laurel's, Henry? That might be, he uses that guy all the time, but I think
we were just talking about
potential
on the phone.
winner, though. Yeah,
totally.
It's a good case for a one-hit wonder. I think it was 27 and then nothing. Yeah. 855-839-1210. Your calls are coming up here. And Andy of Glassboro coming to you next on Donald Norcross, though. You heard the congressman right off the floor. And how come the two who voted against the Lake and Riley bill, or didn't even show up and vote last week, two Democrats who might be the next governor if we don't stop it, today they voted to say, yeah, even though I'm in Jersey, you're here illegally, you commit a sex crime, you're going to be deported. They did it because that's where Jersey's going. It's a tell. And if Republicans can't win this time, I don't know what else we do. This should be a win. I'm saying that not to say slack off, but to be encouraged. It's not an uphill battle this time. We have a really good shot. 855-839-1210.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Fallon, 7 to 10 p.m.
Back when I was a cab driver, trying to make my way in comedy and find some entree into television and radio and everything in between, I was writing articles, mocking sports culture and cancel culture and things like that. And they had booked me an interview on WPHT. They were the very first radio station to ever book me as a guest. We had a lot of laughs. So to be sitting here, 8 or 9 years later as a host in your lineup is obviously a really big deal to me personally.
Jimmy Fallon, now weeknights, 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Merrill Reese. When it comes to your roof, it's like football. Good planning is essential. That's why I've got a brand new gorgeous roof from Impriano Roofing. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, using only quality, certainteed roofing products. Serving our area for 5 decades, accountability plus. It's good to get a brand new roof from Impriano Roofing. Visit Impriano.com. That's Impriano.com. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
Maria here to tell you about the exciting things going on at Lexus of Cherry Hill. The L-certified winter collection sales event is going on now. New year, new ride. Receive special finance rates on L-certified Lexus models now through March 3rd. Over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Lexus of Cherry Hill is family and veteran owned and operated, and a 7-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence recipient for the customer sales experience. Visit LexusofCherryHill.com.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's hear this tiger purr, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, this just in. President Trump has named some new ambassadors to Hollywood, to come back to the golden age of Hollywood. Now, 2 out of these 3, I think, are capable. One is, to put it mildly, a bit, challenged in this. So the 3 ambassadors are Jon Voight. I'm fine with that. Sylvester Stallone, fine with that. Rocky, if Rocky can't do it. But Mel Gibson, oh, man. You saw Gibson with Joe Rogan. Oh, my goodness. It was pretty difficult to imagine, So ambassadors to Hollywood, though. And their job, Trump says, is to get Hollywood back, making great movies, not foreign countries, bigger, better, stronger than ever before. What are Gibson, Voight, and Stallone going to do in Hollywood?
Nothing.
Like, yeah, I can't imagine.
You couldn't have picked more relevant people?
Yeah, well, and troubled in the case of Mel Gibson. Now,
The big one being, we were just talking about the other day, Zachary Levi. Levi.
Yeah, that
Shazam,
was
he's still active in Hollywood,
yeah.
you know?
I mean, was Ralph Macchio or no? Who is it that, no?
Dean Cain?
Dean Cain, but no, there's the other guy, younger.
Cole Hauser.
Chachi Loves Joni. Scott Baio.
Yeah.
Not available. I interviewed Mel Gibson's father, though, and it was at a critical time, and the father was pretty bad. The Passion of the Christ. There was a lot of problems with that. I saw it on the first day. We were glassy-eyed coming out of the thing, and the father had some rather questionable ties. It got pretty nuts. It was a big interview. I don't know how I got him to this point, right before the film. So getting Gibson on like Rogan, man.
About like Caviezel, too. I mean, they made a big fuss about the Sound of Freedom or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's got to be some others, but on Trump's
not
mind.
As big as
yeah.
No, obviously, the names we all just said are not big as the ones he named.
But they're at least active.
They're at least active.
Like not.
Yeah. Like John Voight was in the Francis Ford Coppola movie Megalopolis.
Well, yeah, Voight's still around,
and
right?
he was terrible.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was in the.
Was anyone good in that movie though?
No.
He was in the Reagan film too. He played a Russian or something. That was a bit of a stretch. So I've had him on multiple times. Thinking of trying to get him on again. I think I have his home number. So
I mean, the one that makes sense
still has a landline.
Yeah.
The one that really makes sense out of the three, though, is Stallone. Because
yes.
Stallone's still actively producing a lot of stuff in Hollywood.
Right, exactly.
He has Tulsa King going on. So.
Yeah, and Stallone in Philadelphia is still beloved, even though he's a Trump guy. There hasn't been any real difficulty there. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with one of our favorites, Dawn Fantasia. And I wanted to get her on because she is a former teacher, this stuff, the state of the state with Murphy. But Murphy keeps on talking about Jersey values. What does Dawn think they are, or what's the name? But let me just get Andy in here on Norcross here briefly in Glassboro. Andy, what do you have to say about Donald Norcross in this? Yo, Andy. Okay, Andy, call us back. 855-839-1210. You got on board. And you got the side question. Give us a one-hit wonder. That's what we're looking for. Dawn Fantasia next here on Talk Radio 1210.
The most important part of your financial future is the firm you choose. You see, all financial firms are not the same. Traditional firms that sell securities can't guarantee income and are vulnerable to bankruptcies, market losses, capital gains taxes, and ongoing fees. But the exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to protect over 5,000 clients from market losses and bankruptcies and provides guaranteed tax-favored income with the potential for double-digit interest returns with no fees whatsoever. Our one-of-a-kind proprietary system continues to protect billions of dollars in assets. Are you in or near retirement? There's only one crash-proof retirement for the American retiree. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Are you worried about your roof handling the next storm?
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we provide top-quality roofing services that fit your budget and stand the test of time.
And our team of roofing experts ensures your home stays safe and dry with durable, reliable roofing solutions to any problems you may have. Plus, at Emmons, we offer free inspections and free estimates.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands done. Leaves raked. It's time to give yourself a reward. You know you've been waiting all day for your favorite tasty cake treat, but which one? There are so many great choices. Is it the delicious Crimpet or the mouth-watering candy cake? No matter what you choose or where you are, it's always time for a tasty cake, so choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, except no substitutes.
Hey
everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Helping your inner circle prepare for emergencies can start in many ways. Put together an emergency kit with WipeWall. Create a family communication plan with your tita. Remind Bai to keep a backup battery charged. It all starts with a simple step, telling those you care about to be ready for the worst. So start a conversation and plan for emergencies together. Get more tips at ready.gov/start. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, just intrigued the other day here when Murphy, in defense of some of the things the King of Hair says in his State of the State speech, Jersey values like stockpiling abortion pills. Really? You know, we got to worry about Trump, and he's not going to impact our Jersey values. We have to turn to somebody like Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia to break down what those Jersey values are. I'm looking at a synopsis of the speech. It's Route 70 and 73, or is it Roots, Dan? It's Route 70 and 73.
70and73.com, Dom. 70and73.com.
70and73.com. And the bullet points alone take up a page here. We went through some of the highlights, but one of them, protect reproductive freedom by stockpiling the abortion. Let's go to Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia, back with us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dawn, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Dom. Thanks for having me.
Well, you know, you're the only one I've had to cite you to correct, and you were right. It was just too rich. You have to forgive us in Talk Radio to say that teachers didn't have to read in Jersey under the previous iteration of Murphy, and you corrected that. But there were a lot of things here, your background formerly as a teacher and now in the Assembly, that I wanted to get to. And then, of course, the Jersey values. What are they as Murphy enunciates them? I'm slightly on board with the cell phone preoccupation, but I hear parents and others, and I kind of like put the pressure on the local school boards to decide this themselves, exactly what they're going to do. So do you think, being in schools as I was, that banning the cell phones essentially through the state Board of Education, is that the right way to go?
Well, the way I look at the situation is most schools across the state of New Jersey have a cell phone policy. The charter school districts that I work with instituted a cell phone policy years ago, and it was when smartphones started becoming more popular with students, and parents were buying them for their children. And what that looked like is students were allowed to have the phone prior to the school day starting. They were allowed to take them out at the end of the day. During the day, they could either put them in their locker, carry them in their pocket as long as they were off. just to kind of lend a sense of security. Because don't forget, and especially in some of these more populous or urban districts, you have children who might take public transportation to school, children who walk to school, and they really need, they need that layer of security. And I completely agree with that. However, I've seen firsthand, being a principal, in a school, the students do misuse them. They are quite a distraction. They take up a ton of instructional time when you would have to say the students put them away. When we give state testing, for instance, if a student has a phone out, since that actually is a portal to information for everything, the test becomes invalidated for the group. There's just so many layers to having students having, automatic access on their personal cell phone. They can't be tracked. So, for instance, when a school gives a school-issued Chromebook or iPad or something along those lines, it's on the school network. And, our IT can monitor the sites that the students are going to. So, there's a whole bevy of problems that come with it. But I also understand the other side of it, where people want that comfort that their children are able, to contact them in the case of an emergency. That's completely valid. So I really like Florida's law, quite honestly, signed by Ron DeSantis. I think it was back in either March or May of 2023, and I think it went into effect that following school year. What they did in Florida was very similar to that. The students could have the cell phone before, they could have the cell phone after, but they didn't want them to use it in classrooms or during transitions. So I agree with that.
Okay. One other thing in there, too, and it's such an easy target with Murphy to me that I don't want to just be knee-jerk on him. If he wants to have 16 and 17-year-olds voting in school board, I get the idea they'll become more active. But it just seems to me it's another ploy to get younger and younger people voting by Democrats, that this is what they're really all about.
I honestly, I think it's outrageous, and I think it's silly. Don't forget, this is the same, mentality that brought us, if you get your vaccine, we'll get you French fries and a hamburger, like that came across the border in New York. Children are extraordinarily impressionable. They're young, and there's a reason why 18 is considered the age of adulthood. I do not believe that children under the age of 18 should be voting. I do not agree with that.
Yeah, I don't either. And there's no limit to where this goes. Was there anything else in there, Dawn, particularly before we talk Jersey values, about schools or anything related to that long-term funding? Is there something else in there you picked up on?
Well, one thing I thought that was completely ridiculous is Murphy just kept touting how the schools, were fully funded. And we all know over 100 schools across the state of New Jersey. In my district, Roxbury got hit particularly hard in Morris County. Jackson School District might have been obliterated more than any school. And then we just see in East Orange Public Schools laid off 60-plus teachers mid-year because they didn't have the funds to continue to pay them. So here's this guy up there, looking like the cat that ate the canary, patting himself on the back for fully funding a terrible Corzine-era school funding formula that miserably fails. It's woefully inadequate, and he's acting as if he did something great. That was embarrassing. I had secondhand embarrassment for the man.
Now, Dawn, the thing that most intrigued you, and you're our person to go to on this, Dan and I were saying, oh yeah, we got to get what Dawn will say, is when Murphy keeps on referencing Jersey values, and these guys were on me about that. I know he doesn't fold the pizza and all that. Oh, the Massachusetts. I wasn't going to attack him for that. The pizza eating is aside. What is it that you've been able to intuit he means by Jersey values, and what would you say is a Jersey value?
Well, first, I do think that his version of Jersey values comes directly from a progressive Massachusetts playbook. So I think it prioritizes big government. To him, it's extreme environmental mandates that are hurting small business. Apparently, it's spending like a drunken sailor. Must be a Jersey value in his mind, because that's what he and his little group there do. And policies that put criminals before law-abiding citizens. So if that's Jersey values, I don't think that's Jersey values. The way I see Jersey values, we're real people. It's about hard work, self-reliance. We stand up for what's right, like regardless of who pushes you around. Look at us even in the legislature. You know, we're in a minority party and we punch back. We're not going to stop punching back because it really means having some fight in you and not fight for this ridiculous progressive nonsense straight out of Boston.
Yeah, I think that is the value. Now, somehow or another, he linked it to stockpiling the abortion pills. And again, Trump is not crazed. It's an obvious personal thing with him. He's not crazed over coming after the issue of abortion. I think Jersey's put it into their constitution, right?
Yeah, it is in our constitution. But, you know, separate from that, I found it unbelievably paradoxical to say, you know, he stressed caring for children and nurture New Jersey and, you know, the First Lady's initiatives. You know, you want to take care of the kids, quote, from the cradle through college. And then in the next breath, free abortions for everyone. You know, and what I find disturbing with that is, yes, what you had said is Trump is not incredibly aggressive on any type of rolling back, you know, abortion laws. He actually believes that it should go to the states, right, which is rightfully so. However, there was a Marist poll that said only 27% of New Jerseyans agree with the extreme nature of New Jersey's abortion law. So that's abortion up till birth, no parental notification, you know, all of those things. So for him to tout, you know, about stockpiling 6 months of the abortion pill, which is something that would be used in a very early stage of pregnancy, I mean, that was pandering, that was grandstanding, that was always, the Democrats have this obsession with coming back to that issue, talking about the extreme, you know, and claiming that everything's going to be overturned and it's not real. And I wish they would dig in to some issues here that they actually are going to have impact on, or that are quite figuratively killing the residents of New Jersey, instead of fixating on killing the preborn residents of New Jersey.
We're talking with Dawn Fantasia, but Dawn, to that point, he did pivot toward affordability. He didn't use that word, but you know what I mean? And you see this, I think of the woman, well, I think it's a male from Delaware, is the first openly trans person, and every time interviewed, he says, well, I wish they would stop the trans stuff and cultural issues. We should be talking about, she's laser focused on affordability, but she's a progressive. Ridding us of the progressives in government would bring inflation down by 5 points, I think, tomorrow. They're the architects of it, but they keep on talking about affordability.
It's, you know, that's another paradox, right? It just doesn't make sense. I feel like I'm living in a world of cognitive dissonance with this group. I mean, look at what the NJBIA came out with, right? Right after they came out with a statement and they criticized Murphy's policies that, you know, we're choking businesses with taxes, increased regulatory costs. You know, New Jersey has the highest corporate business tax in the entire country, and our property taxes are just outlandish. They're absurd. And yet they tout fairer, stronger New Jersey, affordable. I literally feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone when I'm sitting in that chamber there.
Yeah, without a doubt. So moving forward, we noticed today, Dawn, you may have been doing other things. In the Congress, two of the leaders, at least the ones I think are good shots for the Democrats, Sherrill and Gottheimer, both voted to deport people involved with sex crimes that are here illegally. Norcross, in the safe seat, gave us a lecture on the Constitution and what he was protecting. But these two last week refused to vote on Lake and Riley. So maybe the heat was turned up enough that they realized this issue in the election is going to have prominence.
I think it's necessary. I mean, again, when you talk about those Jersey values, Jersey is fiercely protective of the people we love. And when you have the potential of people getting hurt, you know, by criminals that are here, I mean, this isn't a bleeding heart story. These are hardened criminals. These are rapists. These are people who intend harm on us. And anyone who would vote against that and say somehow constitutionally, you know, they are protected. I understand this is a misunderstanding from some people. They feel if you're not a citizen, you don't have constitutional protections. You do have constitutional protections. However, when you cross over the border illegally, you have committed a crime. So that right then and there is a reason to leave. It is illegal to cross the border. So that right then and there is a qualifier, and why anybody would want to keep any of these individuals here in the United States is mind-blowing. Make it make sense.
For you coming up now, we're into a new year. What's the major issue, either you or you see it going across Jersey, that's going to play out politically? Something I heard the other day, we were at a big conference, affordability, of course, all these issues. What is it that will be determinative once we get through the primaries?
I think it's honestly going to be the school funding formula in New Jersey. It's going to come down to our wallets. You saw people put some of these progressive or social issues aside, because at the end of the day, I believe New Jerseyans will vote with their wallets. And when we are choked out to the degree that we are, it's going to be that. It's going to be safety of the community. So that is going to be a big one, in my opinion. So you have those two together, and it's also going to be diverting away, and this is somewhat of a green issue, but all of these, green outlandish initiatives that we don't have the infrastructure for, and all of those mandates, they're going to go away pretty quick. So I think it's those three issues.
Not bird feeders and the bears.
Well, I'm still, we got rid of the bird feeder part. We got rid of the deer baiting part. But now I'm stuck on the trash part. So I almost, I'm waiting. I'm gearing up for a fight on that one for those alleged bear-proof trash cans. So I'm just waiting.
All right, Dawn, thank you. Good to have you back. I didn't know you were a principal, by the way. What grade level?
I was a middle school principal. I had students in grades 4 through 8 for about 6 years, and now I actually work at our central office as a district administrator. But yeah, the middle school is really, really my favorite age group.
Thank you, Dawn. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you. Take care.
Dawn Fantasia here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, let's get a couple people in on the side question today. These are some pretty good ones from the world of sports.
Me and Henry are vehemently disagreeing with Dawn, by the way.
On
the idea that middle school students are the best group of age.
Yeah,
kids.
that's the worst.
Yeah, I would say, junior high strikes me as a bad one.
It's like right when you reach that
12-year-old,
11, 12-year-old.
Well, 4 or 5 I don't think are too bad. It's the 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah,
7th or 8th grade. Yeah, like middle school.
Yeah. That's junior high. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like 5. I guess middle is what considered 5 to 8 now, or 6,
Depends
7,
on the
8.
school district. 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
6 through 8, I'd say it's typical.
Yeah, all
some
face
add
there,
5,
Dawn.
some add 9.
Yeah. Well, she liked it. Let's go to Scott in Mount Laurel. I think he has a pretty good one. All right, Scott, who's your one-hit wonder?
Well, back in 2013, as we've heard someplace before, everybody was all excited about a Phillies player, thinking it was going to be Dom time for the next 10 years.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that's a ball 2-2. And, so many times in the past we've had prospects coming up, that we thought they were going to be great. Like Dom Brown came up, had a great month, and we're all like, hey, this is going to be Dom time for the next 10 years.
God.
And it doesn't work out that way.
Unbelievable.
And it definitely didn't work out that way.
No, what did he have at the break? Like 27 home runs, something like that?
Yes, I think it was 27 home runs. And what's so sad about it was that, remember this was 2013, so in 2010 and 2011 where we lost in the playoffs, we were looking at deadline deals. Can't trade Dom Brown. He's going to can't give him up. Oh, boy, maybe we could have given him up for something, would have won another World Series.
How many years did he play after that, though, too? That is a really good one-hit wonder.
That's a good question. I don't remember the exact years, but that was yeah, and he only had one real, and you would say half a year, but it was really like a month or so that he was really good.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, and that was it.
That is the unexplainable of sports, though. How can a guy do that? You remember the guy that played for the Knicks, Lynn, the only Asian American that I think of normal.
Linsanity.
Linsanity, and he averaged like 30 points a game for a couple of months, and then that was it. He went to the man bun. That's what it was.
I think what happens in baseball is that when these guys come up, they throw them kind of a basic pitches and see what they can do. Then they get the book on them and say, okay, well, this guy's having trouble hitting this kind of a pitch, off speed, whatever. And if the guy can't adjust, that's it. One-hit wonder.
Thank you, Scott. Dave in Oakland's got another sports one. Dave, who's yours?
David Tyree and the Helmet Cat.
Yes.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, he had 3 catches that year. He never caught a ball after that in his career. You want the famous Eli Manning quote?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. It's probably the luckiest play in NFL history. No one really blocked anyone. I was almost sacked. Just kind of rolled out and threw it up for grabs, and David catches it off his helmet. That's how we drew it up in practice. I never thought it would work, but sure enough, it did. Eli Manning.
That's a great one. And if he makes the Hall of Fame, oh, my God.
He
right
will.
there in Canada. I accept the fate. It just corrupts Halls of Fame.
500
really
record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame should never have more than one guy a year in it, any sport.
Really?
It's if you really want the Hall of Fame, guys that get in with modern statistics, anybody can take those. And I love Richie Allen. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, really. I loved him. But you got to have better statistics than that to be there. Okay, 855-839-1210. You get in. It is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Money gone.
Another $50 gift card for Ace Hardware. Did you receive an Ace Hardware gift card over the holidays in celebration of National Use Your Gift Card Day? This coming Saturday, January 18th. Treat yourself to a wide selection of high-quality products at your local Ace Hardware. For more information, visit acehardware.com.
Yeah, Dom, so today we're playing a one-hit wonder, singing or covering a one-hit wonder. So, Dom, the song that we're playing today is...
Is it in Finnish?
No, it's not. It's in English.
Okay.
But it's Ram Jam's Black Betty, covered by somebody I would definitely consider a one-hit wonder, but you might argue with. So, Dom, we want to know who today's voice is singing Black Betty. Take a listen.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam-a-lam, whoa, Black Betty, bam-a-lam, she's from Birmingham, bam-a-lam, way down in Alabama, bam-a-lam, the way she shake that thing, bam-a-lam, boss, she make me sing, bam-a-lam, whoa, Black Betty, bam-a-lam, whoa, Black Betty, bam-a-lam, she really get me high.
All right.
Who is the cover artist of today's song?
Great cover artist. This guy's good.
It's terrible.
Oh, cool.
I don't think it's terrible.
It's biased.
You do?
I do
It's
think
not
it's terrible.
good.
It's terrible.
Okay. 855-83, and I usually have a pretty high standard on covers. I think.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah. 855.
Might be up there with Taylor Swift.
How about Joe Pesci?
Yeah, Joe Pesci was pretty bad.
Someday you have to play the worst covers we've ever played, and it's remarkable. 855-839-1210. Hit us with that answer, and you are headed off to Ace Hardware.
Black Betty, bam-a-lam, oh, Black Betty, bam-a-lam, Black Betty had a child, bam-a-lam.
Win big this winter with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning's win-win deal, offering the best HVAC value on new installs to keep your home warm. Save thousands instantly with no equipment markups, extended 10-year warranty, rebates, and tax credits. Plus, CNC makes budgeting for your new system easy with 0% financing options. Schedule an estimate today with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York certified comfort experts, and start saving today. Visit cc-hvac.com. Offers only for new installations through January 31st.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, this is a moment of truth here. Who is it that is covering this song?
Oh, Black Betty, Bam-a-lam. Oh, Black Betty, Bam-a-lam. Black Betty had a child. Bam-a-lam, she swears it's mine. Bam-a-lam, she must be out of her mind. Bam-a-lam, she must think I'm blind. Bam-a-lam.
The guy can't do anything wrong in my eyes. Let's face it. He's right up there with Nick Foles. No matter what he does, it's fine. Let's go to Ed in Pennsauken. Ed, who's covering that song?
Tom Jones.
Well, wait a minute. I don't think that's a fully correct answer. What's his first name? What goes before Tom? The title.
I only know him as Tom.
Yeah, but what's his
Tom
title?
Jones.
There you go. There you got it. Let's hear it, Dan.
Yes, this is actually from before he was a sir, apparently, from the album Mr. Jones by Tom Jones. Yes, the cover of Black Betty from 2001. Horrible. 2002, horrible.
All right, Ed. Enjoy Ace Hardware. We'll get that off to you.
So, apparently, though, my argument was, Dom, I thought Tom Jones was a one-hit wonder because really all I knew was it's not unusual because of the Carlton bands. But
yes.
Apparently, the guy's had 5 top 10 hits and like 8 total. That's in like the top 15. So yeah, I'm a little off base here.
You started to see him as more talent. I'm telling you, that thing with Janis Joplin's amazing. I couldn't believe he beat.
I wouldn't say amazing. I mean,
for him, I was not expecting that. Really, I mean, he's more of like a supernova lounge act, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lounge act is.
Yeah, that's how I describe it.
Super, though. Super, yes.
So he's the higher end of lounge acts.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's here's some of Janis and Tom Jones.
There you go.
You know I'm standing above. I want you to give me all your love.
You have to understand that Janis Joplin was not a mainstream music type of thing. I mean, it was really heavy duty with Tom Jones. I couldn't believe it.
Was Tom Jones like known as cool, or was he?
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, Janis Joplin was the epitome of this stuff. So, and what did she die at? 27-ish?
Yeah,
something. 27 seemed several of them did.
It's the 27 Club.
Yes.
Jimi Hendrix,
yeah.
Kurt Cobain.
I wonder
Robert
more
Johnson.
how they reach the age of 27, let alone dying at it, given what they're doing all day.
Some of their habits.
Yeah.
The Lizard King.
Yeah. Okay.
Morrison.
So, all right, we got that. Ed, enjoy Sir Tom Jones. Apparently in 2025, he might appear on the show. We're working on that. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in. Been a busy day here. I wanted to make sure I played this. Henry's been good enough. Now he's put it in blood. He actually used his own blood to make sure I play this. It's
blood-packed at this
point.
point.
It's got stars around it. It's in color. It's in YouTube. It's on YouTube, right? You have this cut?
I don't have
cut
it loaded
one.
up.
He doesn't have it loaded up.
It is, yeah. I'm the one now that's failing.
Okay, I'll play it coming up then.
Yeah, I'll
wait.
have it for you coming up.
Yeah, coming up. It is the L.A. Fire Department deputy chief, and blanching, this happened early on, at the question about, well, how do these female firefighters who don't look so good carry someone from a burning building? And you would think they'd have an answer. Well, we have a technique, or that doesn't happen that often.
The video is really not worth anything. It's just
it's
a
not
woman on
okay.
the podium. Here's the audio. Though,
yeah, here's the deputy chief telling us about could she carry someone's husband out of a fire?
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Imagine this response. We just were... Well, you got in the wrong place, so I can't carry you out of the fire, buddy. Good luck. So people, the credo there of the fire department, people that look like you racially or physically or gay or whatever, if they're showing up, you're going to feel better about fighting that fire than if some white guy showed up. That appears to be what they're saying in L.A. And we see, again, what the results are. I'm not sure what strings will be attached to the money that's going to be spent. One outrageous moment today. I saw Doug Burgum, Dan, in person at the Spin Room. He didn't do an interview. He was surrounded by people. He'll be the Secretary of the Interior, but Doug Burgum, of all people, Mazie Hirono, who is the dumbest of the Democrats, and women, that really says she is. She's the one that said, what about a railroad across the Pacific to Hawaii? Her first question was, have you ever sexually assaulted, been involved outside your marriage, been charged with sexual, to Doug Burgum? And Burgum's looking like, who, me? Doug Burgum? Are you kidding me? As Secretary of the Interior. It's been a bad week for Democrats on this, and I think they're going to continue to try to postpone Tulsi Gabbard until they feel they've gotten some traction here. But it is a sign of how cavalier they are with the country, that they have not done Noam yet. They have not done Kristi Noem as Homeland Security. Do they not believe in her? She will not be in charge of Homeland Security by Inauguration Day. I don't know if she's going to be in charge anytime next week. Homeland Security is the point person on all this. I don't know. Are they waiting to get into the dog thing with her? I guess they're going to do that. I don't know that it has anything to do with Homeland Security. All I can tell you is, in the spin room, seeing the governor handle the media that were going after her and, not asking questions about Trump or anything else, but the dog. She is very good on her feet, looks great on TV, very commanding. And I see why Trump chose her for this role. And we'll see if she can handle the questions. This is a really, really important role. And God knows, when RFK Jr., when is that moment going to be? All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Coming up, more on the side question. And as if we needed it, I think it's good going forward, the Biden speech last night, a breakdown of who voted for Trump based on their finances and who voted for the Democrat Party this time around. Biden talking, here we go again, about robber barons. Wild stuff yesterday. He's yesterday's news. But are Democrats still going to really try to make the case that they're the populist when the country believes clearly, they're voting, et cetera, that Trump is? Now, can the Republican Party get them to believe the Republican Party is? They believe Trump is. That's going to be over the next few years, whether or not they can do that. All right, you get in, though, at 855-839-1210.
Clouds will continue to thicken up as an upper-level disturbance will bring some snow showers around this afternoon and evening. A coating is possible in some spots, high around 33. Cold tonight, mostly cloudy with a low 26 for the city, and a milder day on Friday, becoming mostly sunny with a high near 40.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Seems everyone has an opinion on where the stock market is going, but where should you be going? Find out with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
D&K Appliances is a family-owned and operated business for 3 generations located in Newtown Square and Flowertown. D&K Appliances offers one-stop shopping, providing delivery, installation, and service of top brands like GE, Thermador, Wolf, Bosch, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool for your kitchen or laundry. D&K Appliance sales associates are industry experts, supporting customers every step of the way. Visit D&K Appliances, the dependable difference. Newtown Square and Flowertown showrooms, or visit dkappliances.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Venaria Jr. with Prosperity Private Wealth. No matter your occupation, whether you work for a big company or you're a small business owner, everyone wants to keep as much of their earnings as possible. I specialize in tax minimization strategies and retirement planning that'll help you build a strong financial future for you and your future generations. Call me, Mike Venaria Jr. at 856-252-0107.
Securities through Sanctuary Securities, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, advisory services through Sanctuary Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Dan, quickly, you reminded me something of Mazie Hirono. You think this is a ploy that she asked everybody this, even Pam Bondi, about the sexual assault charge?
Yeah, starting from Pete Hegseth, from, I guess even before these hearings, it's been Mazie Hirono's thing that she leads off her questioning with,
my responsibility as a member of this committee to ensure the fitness of all nominees to come before any of the committees on which I sit. I asked the following two initial questions. First, since you became a legal adult...
So there's a line of questioning, and she asked the same thing to Pam Bondi, and she asked it to Doug Burgum, and now people are going crazy on Twitter about, why would she ask Doug Burgum this? Well, I think this is bait that she puts out there to try to corner conservatives into having to defend not asking questions about sexual abuse histories. So I feel like she's been asking this for a long time, hoping that someone would pick it up and be like, oh, why is she asking about this? So she can make the point, well, we need to be asking about this.
All right, we'll see. I'll keep my eye on that one. I mentioned before all this talk of Biden, about oligarchs, etc. Batya Unger Sargon. Wild name, I know. I've interviewed her several times. Newsweek, I think, deputy editor. She points out on Twitter, Trump won people making under $100,000 a year, while the Democrats won those making over $100,000. Biden had 2 billionaires to every one Trump had. 75% of hedge fund people gave money to Kamala. 9 out of 10 of the richest counties and 65% making over $500K are led by Democrats. Every accusation from Democrats is a confession of where their party is. That in large measure. Now, you can argue, oh, come on now, you guys have the rich people, and look at Elon Musk. You can make an argument, but it's pretty clear where their party has gone. Elites, allegedly, the coast, all that type of stuff. And Trump is much more the populist, even won the popular vote. That's the single most shocking thing out of the election cycle to me. How is that possible? All right, let's go to Robert in Bensalem here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. If I could touch on the TikTok issue real quick. It seems to me you know that I'm not for banning anything. I think I have a long history of that. I kind of agree with Henry on that aspect, but there are other things to consider. One being security and subversion, which you and Dan have articulated well, and I understand that. But there's a third one as well, the trade issue. X, Facebook, and Google are all banned in China. And whether or not we decide to culturally or morally do something about stopping TikTok, at the very least, that should be a bargaining chip when dealing with China. If you want access to our market with TikTok, then you should be granting access to our companies in China with their social media platforms.
Yeah, that's another great point. And again, people have to realize TikTok won't go away. It's an American company. We're trying to take away some of the security part of this.
Right.
And Robert, I just reacted because I really love Mike Waltz, and he comes on Fox and Friends today and kind of says gibberish because Trump likes the fact that young people like Trump, and he thinks TikTok is the reason.
That might be it, but I think that people get nervous when they get out of their comfort zone. For instance, when you were talking with Rand Paul about this at the gathering up at the community college, and you were very calm and laid back, and Dan, you can check the video on this. As soon as the issue turned to TikTok, your right foot started tapping, like you weren't sure of where this was all going to go. But I think that if we consider all three angles when we make a decision on this, will be better served than to just doing it in a knee-jerk fashion relating to just one issue. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
I think there's another fourth issue too, Robert, and I think you can vouch for this. I don't know if you've ever heard of the app WeChat, but it's become almost a entire lifestyle app. It controls currency, messaging, emails for the Chinese people. And the ultimate goal for Elon, he's stated it publicly, the ultimate goal for the owners of TikTok are to essentially become, life online, having full control over life online. And I think to your trade argument, it's important that if we're going to give these graces to China to enter into our markets, you're 100% right. China needs to open up their eyes and allow, Western ideology on their people.
And even if they allow it, though, they're going to censor it at some level. So, they're never going to allow it untrammeled. So why would we then, with an enemy, allow them to do the damage they're doing?
Well, I would submit to you that if you're worried about it like subverting to youth or something like that, or changing the culture of America, I hear you on that. But we had a much bigger threat in that regard right here at home with the mainstream media, and we're seeing through their nonsense finally. So I don't think that TikTok is going to make as big a dent in our psyche as our mainstream media did.
Well, I would argue, though, I think a lot of the mainstream media narrative that you see developing is all rooted in trying to appeal to ESG ratings and China.
Gaza.
Well, no, it all goes back to China, because they're trying to enter into this giant market of China to appeal to these Chinese investors, so they have to play the game. So there is ideological subversion, similarly to what's happening on TikTok by this mainstream media.
Richard Gere can't appear in movies anymore.
Well, subversion notwithstanding, I think that we're strong enough to handle whatever TikTok can throw at us. But from a trade and from a security or subversion standpoint, I hear what you guys are saying. But I don't want to take too much time. My answer to the side question is Mildred and Patty Smith Henry, two sisters that in 1893 wrote the song Happy Birthday and were never heard from again. You guys have yourselves a great day. Okay?
Great answer. He was sitting on that one for a while. That is a really, really good one. We have great ones. All this coming because Crossing Broad, great sports website, did one-hit wonders in the Philadelphia area. One was the chicken guy. I thought we didn't say that today. I think I'm still right on Twitter. You can let me know that Harper Lee, Dan can test this because of Truman Capote, is a one-hit wonder, a brilliant one-hit wonder. But Dan, the only time she surfaced again that I was aware of is when she did this sequel to Kill a Mockingbird. So, it seems to be, it is the book that Americans have said, PBS survey year after year. That's the book to read. I think the film is better. Gregory Peck in To Kill a Mockingbird is unbelievable. Gary in Newtown, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Dom. How are you?
Good.
Going back to earlier in the show, while we're talking about TikTok, can we just not forget about the 25,000 Chinese militant age men that are here illegally, too, to get them out? We're going to have to go through a vote on that, too.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest conundrums, the Chinese penetrating our security. Yeah.
So my side question answer is, it's kind of funny how as soon as you say big hit wonder, I'm thinking, how your mind just goes to one specific thing, and then you listen to all the other callers. I'm like, I could have went with that, but this one really got me. His guy's name is Joey Meyer, and it's exactly opposite to what Dan's guy was with the Beanie Babies, because this kid hit 585 feet at a game in June of 1987. And went on to play with the Major League Brewers, but really never really amounted to anything.
Was that the guy that was in Sports Illustrated? You're talking about in the Little League and stuff like that? All right, I'll put you down. I'll put you down for that.
No, so I looked into this.
Yeah.
Joey Meyer, he hit a 586-foot home run for whatever minor league team was in Denver at the time in the 80s. It's considered to this day the longest home run ever recorded.
And then not much after that. Okay.
And then, never cracked the majors, I don't think.
Leslie Fischerbein had a great one. Mikey, the kid who was in all those commercials, the milk thing and all that.
Even I know about that.
Whatever happened to him after that. Yeah, it's an old-timer. All right, it is the lightning round coming up, 855-839-1210. I hope you're making plans, though, on Inauguration Day. I mean, the last time we were at the NAC over in Bucks County, fabulous. We'll have some people there with us, some of the regulars on stage, you, and we'll, of course, play the moment when Trump becomes president. But he actually becomes president in high noon. Whether the oath is done by then or it's not even started at that point, little hard to tell. Constitutionally, he has the power of the presidency, not Joe Biden. And Michelle Obama is being hailed as the one person of integrity because she decides not to show up. Well, why didn't she show up for Jimmy Carter, though? Come on. She would not be able to run for president. We've talked about this before. Any kind of criticism, any pushback, you're not allowed to be anywhere near that. And if you run for president, you're going to get that. All right, 855-839-1210.
Some fun developing in YouTube chat again, Dom. Newman Price. I don't know if you know this, but a regular chatter, Newman Price, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. He works as one of those people that goes around and serves individuals with lawsuits. And that's why he never calls us. And I tried telling him one time, I go, wouldn't that make for great radio if Newman just in the middle of the call drops the phone or says,
yes,
you've been served and, hops back on. So I implore Newman and any other people out there with those hyper interesting jobs, even if they might be active in the job, give us a ring sometime.
As it's going down. Yes, we heard from the ladies on the ranch. They want the salmon shirt. I'm trying to comply on Monday. Dan will comply with that pink suit he got at a sale.
Green suit.
I'm sorry. Green suit. The salmon's on my mind. Why salmon?
I can get a pink suit, though.
Rose out there, I had a pink suit once with a little blue trim going through it. It was the whole
suit?
story. Man. And I had the rust-colored leisure suit. If I had that, I would wear it to the NAC. I'll see if Ro has some chains that she found the other day. I'm definitely will have a chain on. It's a special day, special thing to celebrate.
Got the collar open and everything.
Oh, yeah. There might be some chest hairs there, so just saying. 855-839-1210. Get in on the lightning round.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Quite a surprise pivot for the 76ers. The team striking a deal reportedly with Comcast Spectacor to remain in the South Philadelphia sports complex.
Is this a loss for Sherelle Parker? This would go down as one of the highlights of her tenure.
I think that's why she was excited about it.
So in a 72-hour stretch, Macy's, no more in the Wanamaker building, and you don't get the arena.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Damon John here, the People Shark. In the early days of FUBU, I relied on my personal credit cards and faced overwhelming debt. I was on the verge of losing my home and my company. I got lucky. My company's success saved me, but not everyone can wait for luck to save them from debt. And that's why I am excited to partner with National Debt Relief. They have a proven track record of helping people get out of debt quickly, saving them thousands. Their award-winning programs is simple and hassle-free. National Debt Relief can create personalized plans for your financial situation and help reduce your debt. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people, and they can help you too. Take your first step towards a better financial future. Call National Debt Relief today.
To find out what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-822-6611. 800-822-6611. Again, that's 800-822-6611.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-353-9057. 800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today. at 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, it is the lightning round. Hit us with that all-time one-hit wonder. We've had some...
Did some research during the breakdown.
Yes, all right. And what do you have?
I found a salmon suit for you to wear.
Oh, I don't know about a suit.
It's on clearance over at Men's Warehouse for $40.
Is that really Whoa, wait a minute.
$40 for the entire suit. Yeah.
I have to snap that up. All right.
But the thing is, I went through the whole process of getting it shipped. It won't be here in time for inauguration.
A Men's Warehouse.
close,
That means I just need a shirt here. The salmon shirt will be enough.
It's not salmon anyway.
It's raspberry.
Oh, well, that's a little bit. We have to have real salmon
it's a
here.
muted kind of pink.
I will have as my lunch salmon that day, too. I might say it salmon. But
Salmon.
Yeah. All right. Ro may be at this. We're working that out with her tutoring schedule, but anything's possible on Inauguration Day. 855-839-1210. Just hit us with that all-time one-hit wonder. And the TikTok stuff, we had a great call on that today, kind of defending, don't go after TikTok. Looks to me like anything can happen with this. If I had to bet, Trump is going to, based upon what we played you today with Mike Waltz, he's going to swoop in here and say there's a deal on the table. We need some time, so don't shutter it. But he's not president when the shuttering's supposed to happen, which is on, apparently, Sunday. Unless the Supreme Court says something completely different here. Which way will the Supreme Court go on it?
Do the right thing.
Anybody's guess here. I would say, well, you can't tell with John Roberts.
So Newman Price over on YouTube, our serving guy, just said, hey, new one yesterday, Dan. Person I served wanted me to do it again so she could record it and post it to Instagram.
Oh, my God. Imagine being served. We still have that process where they have to physically track you down,
and
hunt them down, and tell them you're served.
Dress in disguises and show up at
It's
their
got to
workplace.
be, it's got to be dangerous, though. I mean, is it disgruntled dads that some women are serving? They must be the number one.
Strapped to
if
do
you
it,
can,
right?
Yeah, if you can ask them, who's the number one demographic that he's serving? All
He's
this
listening.
paper.
Yeah, Newman, who's the number one demographic you're serving?
Yeah, exactly.
A couple minutes we'll have an answer.
Yeah, okay, let's go to Bill in Montco. Bill, who's your one-hit wonder?
Well, it happened because I Googled who Iraq is selling the oil to these days, and it's China. So my one-hit wonder is Bush Jr., who did real well in the aftermath of 9/11, united the country. Then we didn't get bin Laden in December of 2001. We went into Afghanistan and tried the nation build. Eventually lost that. Went into Iraq for weapons of mass destruction, and too big to fail. So he had his moment right after 9/11, and that was his one hit.
That is a very good one. I would agree with you on that. I have a lot of antagonism toward the Bushes up and down the line. Please clap. Let's go to Paul. I thought about this one as my own today and came up with Harper Lee. Thank you, Jeb. 125 million, I think it was. Did he get one delegate? Was that about it, Jeb Bush? And he had Jeb with the exclamation point after his name.
Oh, great branding. Very creative.
And you know what? All these Trump nicknames, some of them are pretty lame. I mean, he could just pick Crooked Hillary, just random. But low energy with Jeb Bush.
Don, you're a classy guy.
Thank you. Well, that one sticks.
So it's the wrong button.
Yeah, low energy. Yeah, low energy is the one that did stick. I'm impressed by that one. Paul in the Northeast. The Northeast. Whoever Henry put that up, or Dan. The Northeast.
Whatever it comes up as, that's what I just keep it as.
Okay, the Northeast. Hey, Paul, where is the Northeast located, Paul?
Excuse me?
Where is the Northeast located?
Oh, Ronhurst.
Okay. Well, we could say, or the greater Northeast. I've always liked that, the greater Northeast. Yeah, something about the Northeast. All right, Paul, what do you have?
February 11th, 1990, Tokyo Dome. Number 8 rank, Buster Douglas. Knocks out, number 1 rank, Iron Mike Tyson in the 10th round. 6 months later, he appears on the cover of an EA Sports game and is never seen again.
Yeah, and did Tyson fight him again? If I were Douglas, can you imagine?
I don't believe there was a rematch.
No, because, Tyson not fooling around what's going to happen. I mean, could be very, very bad. That's a good one, though. Buster Douglas somehow or another knocking out Mike Tyson, or technical knockout, whatever it was. I still would say, out of all the fighters ever, seeing him come into the ring, the one that should strike fear in your heart the most is Tyson in his prime. And I interviewed him. I thought he was brilliant, really. I don't know if I had that interview anywhere. I forget what it was for, but he was very logical, very good. I didn't hear any tigers in the background he was playing with or anything else.
He didn't sound like a guy that gets punched in the head.
No, not at all. He sounded very... Michael Vick, the same thing. Redeemed guy.
You know, there are some conspiracy theories that the whole Madden curse that you hear of often began with Buster Douglas, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Appeared on the cover and career was forever changed.
Here's another guy who had a one-hit wonder, pretty much. Bill in Bucks. Who's yours, Bill?
Well, it is literally a one-hit wonder. He's a professional boxer named Leon Spinks, who in 1978 defeated Muhammad Ali for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
and then lost 6 months later.
I would call Dr. Bentz if Leon Spinks came into the building. He might need a little help there. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, that joke didn't work. I thought Bill...
I thought he was going to laugh, so I didn't open the book.
Yeah. I thought, let's go to Jerry in Wilmington. All right, Jerry, who's yours?
Wilmington. Hey, I just do this because I want to sing. No, you got to be a little older to remember this. Remember William Hung on American Idol 2004? His queen?
Yes.
And he goes, she bangs, she's driving me crazy. And they did. The judges didn't like him, but he went off. America loved him, and he was famous for a little while, but, haven't heard since.
Yeah, the show seemed to be outside the box there.
I queued it up wrong.
All right. 855-839-1210. You get on board. All right, Henry, let's hear some possible contenders here.
Shout out Don and Chuck. You had great answers there. We just didn't get to you. I think best answer today, why not Joey Meyer from Gary and Newtown?
Yeah, that didn't do a whole lot for me. 580-foot home run. Yeah, it was some research. 580-foot home run, but I guess it could happen.
Farthest
it doesn't
home run ever
None of them
recorded?
did anything. We just had a guy singing "She Bangs" on the radio. Come on.
Yeah. All right, what do you like,
I
Dan?
want to put him up there for at least the courage of coming on our show to sing that. But I really like Jaden and Honeybrook. His answer of Carson Wentz. He had like a year and a half, I guess it was.
All right.
That he was, but that one MVP caliber season before the injury, I think that's a fantastic.
Is there anybody non-sports? I was trying to stay away from the sports. Those were two good sports.
Mildred. Well, Robert had a great answer. Mildred and Patty Smith Hill, the writers of Happy Birthday.
Margaret Mitchell.
Yeah. The Happy Birthday.
Local.
I guess I can go with Jaden. It was a good call too. Let's go with Jaden Carson Wentz. Yeah, let's put him into the hat. I'll have to look up the Joey Meyer guy. All right, we are back tomorrow. Probably sports films. Bob Uecker passes at the age of 90. Might do that. Follow on Twitter until then at DomShow1210 at DomShow1210. Richie always next for 4 big hours to take you home. Thanks for listening today, each and every day. And do follow on Twitter and hit me with a few more on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
I go crazy 'cause she looks like a flower.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online